Good evening. Fireworks at Gaylord Family Stadium at Owen Field in Norman. Here come the Sooners. So much at stake. 18 seniors for their final game here, and a championship perhaps looming. Hi again, everyone. Tim Brando by my side. The old Sooner, Spencer Tillman, Holly Saunders, you'll hear from shortly. There is a path, not only to the Big 12 championship, Spencer, but possibly the college football playoff. But understand this, if they're going to get it done, they better do it with style.
Well, make no question about it. This is about a beauty contest right now. Sitting in that sixth hole in the playoff rankings behind Georgia and Michigan, they've got to score a lot of points. And then Kansas, though, can still play the role of spoiler if they keep things close. It's going to be intriguing to see if they can pull it off. Got to get some help from the defense. Ruffin McNeil's got to get those guys cranked up.
Well, one thing we know for sure, from an offensive standpoint, these parts haven't seen quite the quarterback that they've seen this year in some time. Kyler Murray is more than just a one-hit wonder. He's a one-hit explosion, and he might be making history for this school. Possibly back-to-back Heismans with two different quarterbacks at the same institution. There's a chance.
It's incredible what Lincoln Riley has done, the job with him. Unconventional launch point for him. 71% completion percentage. That's best, second best in the nation, Timmy. 39 touchdowns responsible for, and he's putting up about 368 total yards through the air and on the ground running. It is impressive to watch this guy play. He is at an elite level. And I think Tua Tagovailoa better watch out because he's on his hip pocket.
Late November is very difficult to deal with for a lot of teams. Ask Michigan and Ohio State earlier today, and West Virginia too. But at Oklahoma, you've got Switzer, Bud Wilkinson, Bob Stoops, and when the paint dries, one of the brand names in college football is ready to go in primetime right here on Fox.
I want you to really take this in. Next time you're in this locker room after a game, so 7 days from now will be the last time we do this as a team. The last time we do this as a team. You seniors, we got 1 week left for one more game in here.
That week is now the Progressive Game Countdown as the seniors being honored. So much emotion for this Oklahoma team, and make no doubt, they understand what's at stake for them tonight. Those are the storylines surrounding Oklahoma, but how about on the other side? Well, Holly Saunders has that for us downstairs.
Yes, absolutely, Tim. Well, following that Iowa State loss, Kansas Athletic Director Jeff Long let David Beatty know that he would not be returning next season. So David Beatty had this to say to the person who takes his spot next. A very classy thing to say, Tim. He said, whoever is the next guy, they're going to be damn lucky. This is a great place. Not a good place, a great place. Great fans who deserve better and a ton of great kids. Now, according to reports, Kansas is finalizing a deal with former LSU coach Les Miles. Tim, that'd be a huge hire for this university, wouldn't it?
In a lot of ways, it very well could be, Holly, as you look at David Beatty. What a dignified way for him to handle this. And Jeff Long, the outstanding athletic director, allowing him to do that. You don't see that often in intercollegiate athletics today. Lincoln Riley's brother, Garrett, is actually on the staff at Kansas, coaches the tight ends and fullbacks for David Beatty. So yet another family affair. As you look at one of the great all-purpose kickers in the game, Alston Seibert handles both place kicking and punting. And back deep, Steven Sims Jr. awaiting the kick. KU won the toss, selected to receive. And this one will go through the end zone for the touchback, as it generally does when Seibert kicks away. Now let's get Tillman's takes when the Jayhawks have the ball.
Tillman's not rocket science, Timmy B. It's all about sustaining drives. You talk about that vaunted Oklahoma offense. The way to kind of keep them neutralized is simply keep them off the field. And then on the opposite side of the ball, complementary defense. It's hard to put any defense in America on the plane that Oklahoma is from an offensive standpoint. But I think Ruffin McNeil can get this group playing at a much higher level, first beginning by affecting the quarterback on early downs.
That quarterback from Fort Lauderdale, Peyton Bender, out of the shotgun with Puka Williams. Williams runs off the right side and gets healthy yardage. In fact, a first down on the opening play. Caleb Kelly, and you see Curtis Bolton, number 18, an outstanding linebacker makes the tackle after 11 yards. His touchdown to interception ratio has been quite good. Some unfortunate plays and controversial calls have really cost this Jayhawks team, especially last week in their narrow loss to Kansas State.
Yeah, of course, he lost the handle on that one ball that had him a chance of possession away from taking the Governor's Cup that had been in the hands of Kansas State for so long.
On the 35 on first down. Stretch play with Khalil Herbert. All he could do to try to get back to the line of scrimmage is Kenneth Mann, 55, the defensive end, in that 3-4 setup, along with Curtis Bolton again, very active, making the tackle. There will be times when Ruffin McNeil will put that fourth hand in the dirt and go with a 4-down alignment. David Beatty and company will counter that. He's now calling the plays since his offensive coordinator, Meacham, who had been so long with the program at TCU as co-offensive coordinator, was let go earlier this season. Second down and 10. A curl route to Jeremiah Booker. And he gets 9 yards on the play.
You know, Brendan Radley Hines, playing in that nickel position, number 44, has got to understand the proximity. There are about 3 or 4 routes that you got to take away from Kansas. They've got great running backs, or solid running backs, that you've got to account for, so the numbers will be closer to the line of scrimmage. But when they show you pass, you've got to be able to cover those guys up quickly. So we're looking at those second-level defenders for Oklahoma. Murray's on that company as well at the middle linebacker position.
Dom Williams is coming as the setback. They set up for the run play, and look at that. Williams a first down and then some. This is exactly what the Jayhawks want to accomplish, Spencer. That's 14 yards. Robert Barnes makes the tackle. Long drives, 12-13 play variety to keep Murray off the field.
Timmy, the ball will find the mistake. A good instinctive runner will find those voids. If you vacate space, it's all about finding that naked grass. If you can find it, you're going to have some opportunities against the stop unit.
There's the future Oakland A warming up along the sidelines. In the bullpen, as they say. Another magnificent crowd here in Norman. Great to be back.
Oklahoma in a 4-down lineman to look.
Bender with plenty of time, guns it. And that was batted down at the line of scrimmage. Heavy duty rush coming. Fama'atu in there, among others, number 91.
Yeah, he along with Neville Gilmore will be the guys that will be in the middle of that defense. Again, you can get some ways to affect the quarterback from the interior of that line of scrimmage as well. They'll take it, will this stop unit for Oklahoma, anywhere they can get it.
Monty Bledsoe, let's give him some credit, 72, got his big mid up there. The redshirt junior from St. Catharines, Ontario, to bat it down. On 2nd and 10, nice cutback by Puka. But he's stopped by Bolton again.
Yeah, great job by Curtis Bolton, playing in that wheel linebacker position, number 18. I think he's their best pass rusher for Oklahoma. He is active, and the way he comes inside and fills that void, just filling up where that blank grass was. Again, the instinctive runner was headed that direction. Puka Williams found nothing there because it was filled up by Curtis Bolton.
Well, he's had 4 sacks, 10.5 tackles for losses this year. 3rd down and 10 here. Trips to the top of your screen.
You got to watch this route combination here up top. There's a lot of grass here that they want to take advantage of.
You're right over the middle. Called his own number there. Looked like a design run, but Bolton is right there to meet him head on. It'll be 4th down.
And when we talk about attacking the grass, it could be through the pass or not. But look at what's happening here on the outside with a wide 6 technique. Underneath, that's a inside game and deal that comes all the way into the middle and the heart of that Jayhawk offense and shut it down. Outstanding stunt. I told you that Curtis Bolton will be active from that wheel position, and they'll move him around. He's the closest thing that they have for a 3-4 type end that's flexible.
3 straight no gains after a couple of first downs for Kansas. Kyle Thompson will boot it away. C.D. Lamb is back deep. Fair catch is called for at the 14-yard line. Kyler Murray has his own bowl brand these days. We'll see him when we come back. Fox College Football, presented by Ram Trucks, is sponsored by AT&T. More for your thing, that's our thing. And by Target. Expect more, pay less. Kyler Murray Redshirt junior, Allen, Texas, originally at Texas A&M. What a remarkable story he is. 81% of OU's touchdowns have been scored in less than 3 minutes. That's remarkable. 51 of their 63 touchdowns were under 3 minutes. The young man is just a marvel at this position.
Well, considering he's 5'9", maybe 5'10", that 71% completion percentage is outstanding.
Trey Sermon is his running back. He'll take it off the left-hand side. And I know, Spencer, this has to make you feel good as an old running back as we take a look at your takes when Oklahoma's got the football.
Well, Trey Sermon is going to be one of the guys that get it done on the ground, but it is a beauty contest. Again, Oklahoma in the top 10 in every major statistical category in the offense, in the top 4 rushing, total yards, scoring, and so forth. Jayhawks have got to defend those choice routes, though, to shut them down.
Second down and 5. Play fake, and he looks for the corner, and he's got C.D. Lamb.
That's one of the choice routes, the out. And it's not a deep out, it's an intermediate route. And C.D. Lamb, who a couple of years ago was really a star on this team, he's out here on the out cut about 15 yards and the nod inside. Just a tremendous job of turning the defender inside out, puts him on his heels, and they're chasing after him.
Gain of 20. Kennedy Brooks is checked in, the redshirt freshman from Mansfield, Texas. They are lacking depth at running back since the loss of Rodney Anderson a few weeks ago.
Mishandled there.
It was, but picked up, and the pass over the middle of the tight end, Calcaterra, and the sophomore from Rancho Santa Margarita with a catch. Hassan Defense made the stop, a gain of 12.
Well, he's having a great year. I'm going to come back to that corner stop. Oklahoma's going to continue to attack this edge for this Kansas Jayhawk defense. And again, watch for number 8 against Shaquille Taylor. Again, they're going to attack him on the boundary now on the left side of the hash.
One of the things you'll notice through this game with Kyler Murray is the launch points and the many different styles of launch points with a great release. That one's a little bit low, but C.D. Lamb gathers it in. But a negligible gain to the 49. They actually lost a couple on that play. Brian Lipscomb, 58.
Well, that was a heck
stop.
Yeah, excuse me, partner. That was a heck of a defensive stop there. Lipscomb did a fantastic job to have a linebacker type body wide out here, flexed, to come up and then drop in that short zone. Listen. Zone blitz combination. You see those big guys dropping in that flat area, man. Got to recognize it.
Coming sweep-wise, Marquise Brown. We'll watch for a lot of jet sweeps through the course of the game to get the junior from College of the Canyons. Call me Hollywood. Hollywood, Florida, not California. A gain of 12. Those are incredible numbers for this Oklahoma offense.
Timmy, almost every coach that we talk to says this version of Oklahoma's offense is as prolific as the 2008 club that had some pretty gifted guys out there. Sam Bradford and company, Phil Mulho, all of those outstanding guys. This one is as prolific.
We've talked to countless defensive coordinators that have said it's markedly better than last year's team with Mayfield. Here goes Murray with a little RPO activity. Finds Brown, and Marquise ushers himself out around the 35-yard line. Oh, gain 4 on the play.
And that didn't look like he was an impressive play, but what Murray just did there was erase a negative play with his speed and then get the RPO off on the backside of that to get even an additional yard or 2. That's just impressive.
Second down and 6. Brooks is back in the backfield. Dumps it out to Carson Meyer, who can make some acrobatic catches. He did a week ago in Bedlam. That's Bryce Tornadin, number 1, an outstanding defender out of Lawrence, Kansas, Free State High School, making the stop.
This is what they like to do with Murray, put him on the run. And again, because he is not the tallest, they don't want him standing in front of all those tall bodies. But to be able to get him on the edge and move him, he becomes extra dangerous with the RPOs factored in there. Again, it's the height factor, the reason why they move him.
From the 26, first down.
Double A gap pressure coming.
Yep. Turns into a run blitz, and that guy got right past it. Brooks burrows down to the 20 in the arms of Joe Deneen, a senior stalwart for this team. 10 tackles for losses, 3 sacks. I mean, he is a leader and a young man that defensive coordinator Clint Bowen will tell you is the heart and soul of this team. There he is. He's been through so much. He goes all the way. Yeah, he goes all the way back to the good times at Kansas.
Well, he's one of the great minds, I think, in the game. Kansas native,
Second down and 4. Murray for the end zone and overshoots his man Calcaterra, the tight end.
Yeah, just a little bit too much on that. Murray Calcaterra was in the back of that end zone, separated himself by a couple of arm lengths away from the defender, but still came up a little bit short.
So third down and 4 in what has been a long drive by OU standards. This is the 10th play coming up. They generally score in less than 4 minutes, and they've had the ball that long. Just less than 4 minutes on this drive. Brooks is back in. Marquise Brown goes into the slot right and is in motion. Brooks. Henry Brooks. It'll be first and goal. Joe Dineen with the stop.
Joe Dineen is one of the leaders on this team. Again, the inside run, we can roll it, and we'll show you exactly what's happening. You've got everybody blocking to the left, and this will bend back to that soft spot up the field. And then the ability to make a guy miss in open space, yards after contact, additional 5 yards ultimately after contact. You see him carry that ball high and tight, understanding he's in traffic. Nice job of running from Brooks there.
Now, you love that high and tight carry. You do.
Well, you know, Tiki Barber used to, great New York Giant, started that many years ago. He had some problems hanging on to the ball, and it became the norm in the league, and now it's trickled down to this level.
Brooks again. Well defended this time. Oh, that ball's free.
Yeah,
it was pulled out.
Didn't hear a whistle
Yes,
either.
it was. Mike Lee pulled it out. Absolutely pulled it out. And recovered it, I believe, by the Jayhawks. Give Mike Lee credit for stripping it. And he may have come away with it as well. Just as we were talking about ball security. High and loose this time. Lee takes it right away. The look of confidence. Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans, America's largest mortgage lender. And this is a confident play by Mike Lee, young man from Walker High School, New Orleans, Louisiana. And David Beatty told us that he has immense confidence in him, a lot of swag in his game. Coach Beatty told us.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the 3 things that he talked about they needed to do to have a chance is to create turnovers, and they're certainly doing that. Mike Lee, the free safety, has got the first one notch for him.
OU held the ball for 450, 11 plays, but fumbled it away. Look at this. Nice run by Herbert. Khalil stopped by Robert Barnes, number 20 for the Sooners.
Those Sooners up front are going to get challenged. Again, there's a 5-yard gain there. They've got to be able to win those first downs. You got to get less than 5 if you're on the defensive side of the ball. Ultimately, you've heard us say it before, you create a run-pass conflict scenario when you get 5 yards or more on first down. It's tough to get the right personnel and the defensive calls in that you like.
Puka Williams now moves into the slot on 2nd and 5. Dom Williams ahead for a first down, carrying Sooners with him. Let's get a quick game break in Los Angeles. Here's Greg Wolf.
Tim, thanks. Number 9 West Virginia trying to escape Stillwater with their Big 12 title hopes intact. Down 4, 2 seconds left. Will Greer fires to the end zone. It is batted down, incomplete. Oklahoma State with the upset over the Mountaineers, 45-41. Tim, Spencer, back to you.
Just another late afternoon and evening in the Big 12, Spencer T.
Oh, my goodness, a piece of work, man.
How about that? Williams on first down. Look at that. He gets 7 yards. Curtis Bolton making the tackle. Now, the thing that happens here, Iowa State is actually the beneficiary, but they're playing Texas tonight. We'll find out more about that. Now, provided they win that game, they could actually play for a berth next week when they take on Kansas State potentially, and West Virginia falls back into that 2-loss category with a bevy of teams alongside Oklahoma. Oklahoma could actually win their way into the Big 12 title game and get a berth if they win this game tonight, as Dom Williams forges ahead for a first down. Well, let's keep all of that in context.
I'll tell you what, this Kansas Jayhawk front, Dwayne Wallace 62 and the Malik Clark, these guys right here are winning their battles up front, Timmy. A fantastic job on this reach area space, moving those guys out of the way. I mean, Dillon didn't have a chance on that. He just moved the space, moved him out of that void. An instinctive back will find those naked holes every single time.
Williams, 4 rushes, 32 yards. Bender, a little safety valve out to a wide open Herbert. And Khalil is stopped after another 7, maybe 8-yard gain by Bolton and Trey Brown.
Trey Brown's the right cornerback. He's out there trying to defend in open space, and not before the runner has a head of steam and gets a couple of extra yards. Oklahoma needs to be able to have closer proximity to the ball at the point of contact. One of the problems they've had, not being able to create turnovers, got their first fumble last week.
2nd down and 3. Williams bounces out. Boy, is he quick. How about that? Picking him up and putting him down. And the Jayhawk is deep into Oklahoma territory. Pushed out by Radley Highs.
Well, these guys right here are the ones that are out here reaching and pulling on the front. Let's put that thing in motion and show you why this little flex move is so important. 61 comes around. That's Malik Clark. He's leading the way, and then Puka just puts him in his hip pocket and runs away from him. Barnes was the last line of defense. Number 20 back there, the safety, the free safety, a star in last week's game. Had to hold on for dear life.
From the 23 of Oklahoma. Puka now with 49 yards on the ground. And we've got a timeout, it appears. Looks like Kansas took it.
Timeout, Kansas. First of the half. Media timeout.
Jayhawks trying to make a little history themselves tonight. Tomorrow, it's a Fox NFL doubleheader, starting with Ezekiel Elliott and the Cowboys taking on Matt Ryan and the Falcons. Then it's America's Game of the Week. Carson Wentz and the Eagles battle the hottest team in the country in the NFL, Drew Brees and the Saints. It's all on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Check local listings. They're averaging 11 yards per play on this drive, Kansas. Dom and Pookie Williams doing the damage, and this time it's Pookie. Look at him go. It's a touchdown.
What an excellent play by Dwayne Wallace, number 62. This is what we call an if block, Timmy. When that right guard ifs around, he's going to come back inside, and an instinctive back is going to find that void. Nice job of inside discerning what's going on. That is smoke through a keyhole, ladies and gentlemen. Outstanding.
A Spencerism already. Gabriel Rui with the extra point. David Beatty, you see how this team is rallying around their coach. Would mean a lot to David. You can make a great case. While he may be losing this job, he has won over a number of other people. And Pookie may be small, but baby, he's dynamite. Taking on the Sooners for pay dirt. Fox College Football presented by Ram Trucks is sponsored by Ice Cold Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville. And by Battlefield 5. Battlefield will never be the same. Rated M for mature.
Tim, if you're wondering why this game is going so fast.
And it is going quickly with our aerial coverage brought to you by our good neighbors at State Farm. Yes, sir? What was that?
You're in good hands. It's going fast because this ball has been on the ground for Kansas much of this game. 109 yards rushing for them. That's why that clock has been ticking. Converting first downs is not something they've been strong at. They were last in the Big 12 in that category, but boy, they're showing up tonight.
Trey Brown, number 16. Look at him pop out. I think he did step out.
Yeah, he did. That
around the 40, maybe 41-yard line. That'll be outstanding field position for the Sooners. In case you were wondering, Kyler Murray found a photographer this week. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's making, what is it, just a little bit less than his head coach right now? I think the number is
less than $1 million. Less.
Yeah.
4 point, whatever it is.
I think it's 4.6 versus 4.8. So
not bad.
He's in the same tax bracket with his head coach.
And you got to give him credit, though, Timmy. You know, despite that, the guy comes to work, shows up, with the exception of the one hiccup where he kind of overslept a little bit and had to sit out a little bit of time. But he was visiting his mom, so he had an excuse behind that previous night.
1st and 10. Looking long. A little cross up there between he and Marquise Brown.
Yeah, Marquise was either hitching and coming down to settle it down, and Murray thought he was going to go continue deep.
Flag down 2 in an area where you'd think holding in the Oklahoma backfield. Apparently a problem with our referee Eddie Shelton's microphone, but holding was indeed the call.
Take a look at the route here. You're going to see a little hitch route, then he turns and goes back upfield. A little confusion. He thinks that Murray is not going to that deep corner route. Again, that's one of his favorite routes, and Brown was looking for it, but Murray threw it that direction, but he just kind of got caught up in the route.
After the penalty, first down 20. Kennedy Brooks remains the setback. Brown is now down at the bottom of your screen. Brooks beyond the original line of scrimmage and up to the 45, and Joe Deneen made the stop. Keith Loneker also there.
You know, you're watching this Oklahoma team going a little bit of pace and tempo now. Tim, they are running the ball when they do run it as effectively as they're passing. They're basically a running team.
Murray with plenty of time. A wide open receiver. Lee Morris down to the 16-yard line.
Lee Morris making his dad proud. Former walk-on at Oklahoma back in the day when I played. This is his little fella, man. Wide open. He has been a prolific player down the stretch. Comes up with another huge play for the Sooners.
From the Kansas 15.
Nice.
It pops free. Kennedy Brooks down to the 5.
Well, here's the pass that set it up. Again, off coverage. You can see the huge cushion, and then the nod, and then the corner route. It's a skinny post route, a vertical route underneath, but he sits down in the flat area. That complementary route caused confusion in the back end for Kansas. They made a mistake and left the outside man wide open.
Time winding down in the first quarter. In case you were wondering, Oklahoma last went scoreless in the second game of the year against Ohio State.
Most easy option.
Don't have to worry now. Touchdown, Murray.
Timmy, that looked like old school stuff. That little white rag out the back of the head. He looked like Thomas Lott. The option route and a single man on the perimeter to dial it out. Exceptional read on the outside. You can see when the ball is snapped to him, watch the conflict that it causes. Let's freeze this guy's right here. Stop that down, and then boom, you can see the two-man option. He fools number 1 right there and gets into the end zone for the score. That guy's got to declare who he's going to attack, and Murray made him pay for the indecision.
This is a little more like an Oklahoma possession. 4 plays, 59 yards, and a return to sender. Kyler Murray. You'd rather him throw it, believe it or not, than tote it. We'll be back. 1:19 remaining, and Kyler Murray takes his team very quickly in just 4 plays down the field to tie the game. You know, Spencer, you know, if you take a look at what this guy can do, and with Lincoln Riley calling the plays, there are times when they almost look unstoppable. And the confidence level that this young man has to go along with his coach in dialing up plays, you know, it's a little bit like, to use a professional analogy, Drew Brees working with Sean Payton. I mean, that really is what we're talking about at the collegiate level.
He was a job of prescriptively developing an offensive scheme to match his skill set. That's what coaching is all about, Timmy.
You talked about the offensive line for Kansas, the job that they have done thus far.
Well, that offensive line has been outstanding. Their guards have done a great job of blocking in those tight quarters, getting 5 yards on first down. Puka doing a fantastic job of stopping and starting again, showing you his ability to separate. But it's that interior line play of Dwayne Wallace, Malik Clark inside, 61 and 62 respectively, that's been doing the job. Outstanding.
Yeah, this is a veteran group. They want to go out the right way for their head coach. They feel like they let one get away a week ago. Quick curl route to Jeremiah Booker. And he's got the first down up to the 38. They want to go quickly. Kenneth Murray, number 9, the stop, a gain of 12.
They want to go quickly because the Sooners, like many teams in the Big 12, and where you're in conferences where they throw it a lot, not doing an excellent job of tackling, Tim. That's part of the reason why you go quick. You go fast for personnel reasons, but also to take advantage of skill sets that aren't fully developed.
Bender now 3 out of 4 for 28 yards. They've primarily beaten OU on the ground. Khalil Herbert in the backfield now, but it is
Backdoor.
yeah. Trying to move ahead, and Fa'amatu is in there to make the stop. This is a young man, redshirt junior from Cerritos College by way of Norwood, California. Second down and 8, a gain of 2.
Fa'amatu did a nice job of settling down on that inside. Again, you got to, whether it's a zero technique that's directly over the center or a 1 in that A gap next to them, you got to be stopped.
Stretch play to Puka. 72 yards for Living. Reverses field. Spin, baby, spin. He's just 2, maybe 3 yards shy. We'll call it 2 yards away from another first down as we come to the end of the quarter. A gain of 6. Very entertaining start, my friend.
They have been outstanding. Puka's been leading the way.
That's the end of the first quarter.
Boomer Schooner came out thinking, let's celebrate, let's coronate. The Jayhawks have other ideas. The folks from up north coming to town. Fox College football is presented by Ram Trucks, built to serve. An overhead view of Owen Field here at Gaylord Memorial Family Stadium. Tim Brando, Spencer Tillman, Holly Saunders, Khalil Herbert on third down. Will be very close to the first down yardage necessary. And if he doesn't have it, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if they go for it.
I think he may be a half a foot short. They're going pace and trying to get up the line of scrimmage.
That's what David's asking for.
What he's got to lose, man, I applaud him for it. This is great.
Khalil Herbert remains the setback.
Timeout.
A lot of times the officials in setting the ball will slow down an offense. He really wanted them to snap the ball by now.
Sure did. That's unfortunate for Kansas. I think they...
Sometimes you can be too close to the necessary yardage, and then they just say, well, bring out the chains. And it slows you down.
Absolutely. The context determines your strategy. Not a lot of yards there, but the fact that Puka Williams, he just had 59 yards last week. He's already got 78, Tim. And that was in the first quarter. So he's 19 yards better than he was for the entire game last week. They got to ride this hot hand, man.
Wow, he got it.
Yeah, wow, that's
a heck
close.
of a spot. Yep. Now he doesn't mind that they came out and slowed him down.
We want to check this.
Did it look like there was a little slack in that chain to you?
Yeah, it may have been a couple of minutes.
I thought maybe there was some slack. And he says, yes, sir, we got a first down and we're moving forward.
One of the great high-energy coaches in the game.
Yeah, he'll land. Yep. He will land on his feet without question. Herbert remains the setback with the ball just beyond the Kansas 46-yard line. Herbert stretch play going wide. Oklahoma's defense up to the challenge as Robert Barnes comes up from safety to taking down the sophomore from South Lake Carroll High School in Texas.
Robert Barnes, son of Reggie, great Sooner, 90s. Did a fantastic job of working outside there. Nice play.
A lot of legacies within the Sooner program, always have been. 2nd and 9. Bender has really been outstanding. Very accurate at the quarterback position. Here swinging it out to Puka Williams.
And that was something that you didn't really appreciate, but Oklahoma did a fairly decent job of playing with leverage. Did Trey Brown, number 6, as we look at Bolton, the best tackler on the field. But on that boundary out there, when you've got a guy that's got you in open space like that, you want to make sure your head is upfield and you keep him between your body and the sideline.
Bender on a throwing down is 4 out of 5 for 33 yards at this moment. 3rd and 4.
3 down, one guy's hand up.
Go wide again. There's Puka. Tremendous maneuver and a lot of space. I mean, that's just too easy. That's the 9th Kansas first down. Patrick Fields made the stop, and this is going just the way David Beatty orchestrated it.
Yeah, Patrick Fields is the nickel guy, so he's back there. Again, look at the relative proximity to the ball. These guys are at least 10 yards from the ball carrier. I mean, that's just one of those tough situations where you are schemed and you're in a situation where you're out of position, and it paid for it big time.
From the 33, first down. Mix-up. Big mix-up there on that route. Stephon Robinson, number 5, was never looking for the ball. The ball was tipped, but he wasn't even looking for the pass here.
Well, again, you got a tip pass right there. Again, that's one of the ways that you can affect the quarterback by not physically touching the quarterback. Get that big mid up there and try to make a play and impact in his face.
That's the second time Amani Bledsoe, 72, has gotten his hand on the leather. Herbert remains the setback on 2nd and 10. 3 wide receiver set with Sims up the top of your screen. He's the big ticket receiver, number 11. Herbert in some trouble this time. Great penetration up front by Hawk Perkins, number 7.
Yeah, Ronnie Perkins is playing the Sam position. Number 7 comes up and just St. Louis, Missouri, formed tackle on the outside edge against a pretty darn good player in space. Excellent work there against Herbert by Ronnie Perkins. Inside zone, nice eyes, nothing inside, so he bounces out, gets that left paw there. Still probably could play with a lot more integrity if he plays with leverage and not have to reach and grab.
Well, they've gone wide a number of times. You begin to think maybe they'll go with something deep this time. But with an out pattern, that's Jeremiah Booker. And he's going to be taken out inside the 30 at the 29 by Trey Norwood. Long way from the first down, so it'll be a 4th down coming up.
Well, Peyton Bender had a corner cat blitz hugging him in the back. You can see coming right off the edge, and it was tough, man. Brendan Radley Hiles was coming screaming, delivered it off, but he paid a price. The shot.
All right, this will be a 45-yard drive. On 4th and 5, Gabriel Rui. Oh, he got all of that. Yes, he did. Connected on a career-long 54-yard field goal in the season opener. Didn't have to go quite that distance, but the Jayhawks have the lead over Kyler Murray and the Oklahoma Sooners on Fox. 10-7 our score as it's a 3-point game after that field goal by Gabriel Rui. Liam Jones, number 46, will kick it away. Trey Brown picked it back up, trying to make something out of what appeared to be nothing, and look out. How about that? That's a nice recovery. Well, it's time now for Proven to Last, sponsored by Ram Trucks, built to serve.
Fantastic job of this guy right here, working inside as Murray. The option game, the RPOs were working as well. When you put him on the move, Timmy, he's very difficult to defend. And you get those guys working on the edge. Here's that inside option game, easy. Murray look great.
First down 10, trailing by 3 with 11:53 in the second. Tim Brando, Spencer Tillman, Holly Saunders. Marquise Brown in motion, and they go with Teddy Brooks right up the gut. Up to the 43-yard line. A quick game break now. Let's go to Greg Wolf in Los Angeles.
Tim, thanks. Number 16, Iowa State. Number 15, Texas. Either of these two teams win out, they book a trip to the Big 12 title game. Sam Ehlinger keeps it himself right up the middle. 7-yard touchdown. Longhorns lead 7-0 first quarter. Back to you.
All right, Greg, thank you. Here, Kyler Murray's on the loose. He's going to be corralled at the 45, but he does have the necessary yardage for the first down. Joe Deneen making the stop. We should mention in that Iowa State game, Spencer, David Montgomery is out because of a fight in last week's game.
Yeah, he's out, but the coverage is in vogue right now. Kansas doing a fantastic job of making Murray scramble. He had great protection. Unfortunately, Kansas was not able to play it off on the front end of it. That is, get to the quarterback. Scrambling around, and that's something they don't want him to do. If you recall in our conversation with David Beatty, he says the last thing he wants this guy to do is run the football with its speed.
First down from the 46. By the way, Montgomery will return for Iowa State in the second half of that game being played in Austin. Very important. There's Brooks. Boy, just popped free after the initial contact. Gets another first down for the Sooners. Stopped by Mike Lee, who had that big strip and fumble recovery earlier.
I'm going to be critical him again of the tackles here. I think they're working inside a tag block, but here's where the hole was, right through here. I mean, even though you've got leverage on that outside, Timmy, I think you have to push it a lot more. Then that inside underneath game comes open for you.
Big time play fake, and Murray looping it deep and incomplete. Going for Calcaterra. And you think of all the greatness that they've had in the past with Andrews and company at tight end. After that run, let's take a look at what transpired here, to your point.
Shows great patience, right? And so color does flash. There's a white jersey in that hole. So he makes the right decision in getting up front. But what you want to do is push that a little bit further, like we used to do the old stretch plays. When you stretch it further, that outside guy has to commit more. Then you get vertical upfield, and you'll find a gaping hole there more often than not.
Well, we just saw the second incompletion for Murray. 7 out of 9 for 95 yards. That's Marquise Brown in motion. 2nd and 10. Quick out to C.D. Lamb. Boy, I tell you, the Jayhawks are arriving quickly, aren't they? And in a bad humor. That's a gain of 7, but Lipscomb, first to make contact, had quite a bit of help from Shaq Taylor, number 8.
Timmy, I want you to take a look at the pull scheme here that's working. This looks like a run play if you're looking in the box, but they throw the ball off of this. This is one of the things that Lincoln Riley does to set up the 4th and the 3rd quarter of games. Make it look like it's a run play. You see that action as a defender, you start to do that. Then they come back counter to that same side. This is an excellent job, and one of the reasons why he's one of the greatest minds in college sports right now. So creative and creating scenarios that are tough to defend.
3rd down and 3. Shallow cross. There it is to C.D. Lamb for the first down. A little look in, quick slant if you want to call it that, but it was money.
Well, it's virtually impossible to cover this because, again, it's just a pivot upfield. As you said, a quick slant, look-in route. He gets upfield. The ball is placed right there. The defender is behind him in his hip pocket. Nothing you can do to defend that play. Excellent pitch and catch. Shaquille Taylor didn't have a chance at that left corner position.
Well, you see Lamb, he's good for moving those chains, isn't he?
He was a star a couple years ago. They've got so much depth in this offense at receiver for the Sooners.
He's been overshadowed a little bit
he has.
because of the great statistics that others, including Murray, had. Off the zone, wide open, touchdown, Carson Meyer.
There's a late flag. You know, Tim, sometimes when you think you've got help over the top, Murray with the ride in the mesh, he goes up into the line of scrimmage to sell it even more. You know, if you're covering this guy that's going to be working that center route, you're thinking it's a cover 2 behind you. There's a safety back there. There's no help. That's miscommunication between the front and the back end of this Jayhawk defense.
Now, the injured Jayhawk is Bryce Tornadin, and I'm curious as to what this call is going to be, as Tornadin is up on his feet now with a little bit of help from the training staff of Kansas.
Yeah, they can ill afford to lose him. Bryce is he's the nickel guy, but he's one of the natural leaders on this stop unit. Talking to Clint Bowen just the other day, he was talking about the guys that everybody points to, Daniel Wise and company. They are the noted leaders, but there are a bunch of other guys that make this team tick.
Yeah, 3 of them all played together in high school.
Result of the play is a touchdown. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, 74 of the offense. 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
I thought so. Cody Ford, the redshirt junior from Pineville, Louisiana, the guilty party here.
Yeah, Cody had a holding penalty last week in a tightly contested game, obviously. And you know, when you start to see patterns like that, you know, you're a great athlete, otherwise you wouldn't be playing.
That was number 74's first unsportsmanlike.
That's tough.
Well, and what it does is allow Kansas great field position because they're going to execute the 15 yards on the kickoff. As good as Austin Seibert is, and he gets them through for touchbacks most of the time, 15 yards further back on the kickoff should give Kansas a chance for a return. But OU has taken the lead, the 33rd in the air for Kyler Murray. And the able fullback H-back on the receiving end. Fox College Football, presented by Ram Trucks, is sponsored by Verizon, the unlimited plan you need on the network you deserve. 14-10. You want to see what happened? What did Cody Ford do? Check out the little sucker nudge into the midsection. Boom.
Yeah, Cody gave him a shot right there. You know, hey, it may have been a little bit of an acting job on the fall, but you can't hit him. I get it.
Yep.
I get it. A little bad blood maybe spilling over from last year.
Yeah, you may recall what happened before the game when they refused to shake the hand of Baker Mayfield. And by the way, David Beatty addressed that with us before the game when we chatted with him the other day, and he made no bones about it. It was something that he was not proud of. Certainly doesn't want that to ever happen with a program that he's with. But we can't lose sight of this, though. Baker Mayfield struggled in that first half in Lawrence. It was 10-7.
Yeah, you can't ignore that time. He absolutely did.
Luka Williams and Khalil Herbert are back deep. This is high into the air, and it will be taken by Herbert at the 34. This is what happened at the beginning of the game, and especially with the young kids out there.
Yeah. Denied. No handshake there, no peace there. They came meaning business. And again, what Coach Beatty was telling us that, hey, there was no ill intent. It was about motivating our guys more than it was disrespecting their guys. And hey, I can tell you, man, back in the day, Timmy, we did a lot of work.
Yeah, it was. And even Baker admitted later it was not one of his finer moments.
That was not a fine moment for Baker nor the institution.
Luka Williams and Khalil Herbert are in the backfield on first down for Peyton Bender, who's looked good early and very consistent in this game to this point. We've got a false start, it appears, for the Jayhawks.
False start. Offense. Number 74. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Yep. The inner game cannot not be played.
It's Clyde McCauley, who does back up Adeniji, 78, at left tackle.
Gotta hold your water out there, big fella.
First down 15 now with the ball spotted just shy of the 29-yard line of Kansas. I tell you, to this point, Spencer, they have done a nice job of possessing the ball and keeping Kyler Murray and company off the field.
I am impressed with that, Timmy. They've been consistent.
Puka, look at him bounce outside. You talk about fast. Those short, choppy steps. Trey Brown ushers him out. Sophomore from Tulsa, Oklahoma, Union High School.
Yep. Union produces some great athletes out there, along with Jinx High School. Union, remember the great, couple of great linebackers came out that went to Texas. One of the rare times that kids come from Oklahoma and go to Texas. Jeff Lighty, late Jeff Lighty, great one out of Union High School.
Puka, by the way, over 100 from scrimmage, 99 rushing, 5 receiving. What a half. Khalil Herbert now in the backfield. 2nd and 8. And we got another timeout taken by the Jayhawks. Just keep matriculating the ball down the field, boys. That's all he wants.
Just trying to scheme.
Yep. Some Kansas fans may be wondering why we haven't seen Dom Williams since the 2nd series. It may be because of this injury right here. He came limping off the field after the play. Now, listen, Puka Williams has done just fine, thank you. But he's been trying to get it going after the trainers have dealt with him. They'd love to have him back, but look at what Puka's been able to do. He's all over the place. Best in the Big 12 in all-purpose yards, and tonight 104.
Caleb Kelly was the guy that came in there flying with the shot to the lower leg area.
2nd and 8. They swing it out again to Puka.
What the Sooners are doing a much better job. There's a flag down on the play, but the Sooners are doing a much better job on these wide boundary perimeter throws of being close to the receiver.
Flag is in the backfield.
Barnes with a nice open field tackle in space. Had some help coming inside out with Kenneth Murray.
Personal foul. 75 offense. 15-yard penalty. We play 2nd down.
Boy, that's Antoine Frazier with a huge mistake. The junior from Huffman, Texas, with a personal foul. And that will really back him up. By the way, just as we were talking about Dom Williams and that injury in the 2nd series, we've just learned from Holly Saunders and company downstairs that Dom is not going to return to. We're being told that he will not be able to make it back into the game tonight. Let's see what happened here with Antoine Frazier. 75.
I know he's got his left hand on his back, but I don't think that's...
Well, let's see. Must have happened well after the whistle. Second down and 22 after the penalty. Well, that's a big loss not having Williams. It means Khalil Herbert and Williams will have to be the running backs the rest of the way. So a little bit like Oklahoma, Kansas depleted at running back. Only two that can really go. Williams, so quick though. What a burst he's got. That's 9 yards just like that.
Timmy, that happens a lot in this league where you have 3 down linemen and guys are getting pushed around. There's so many gaps out there. It looks like the guards are uncovered most of the time. And a decent running back can fall forward and get yardage. Again, teams are willing to concede 3 or 4 on first down. You don't want to get 5 or more, but it happens, man. It's just so difficult when you're playing 4 and 5 wide receivers. It's basketball on grass.
Well, you've got them right where you want them if you're Oklahoma. 3rd and long, 3rd and 13. And the Jayhawks really need to keep this drive going. Keep Kyler Murray off the field with 7:25 remaining in the second, already ahead by 4.
He's going to play coverage with the 2 deep look.
Bender's pass is caught. Crossing pattern. He's got his man, Kerr Johnson Jr. And the senior from Santa Rosa, California, with a 25-yard gain.
Well, the weak part of the field is the middle of the field. Again, almost fell down, but just find that soft spot against that 2 coverage, 2 deep safeties outside the hash. The weakest part of the field is in the middle. The eyes are looking for him. Didn't have to come off of him and move it on the spot. Just locked in on him and delivered a strike.
Now that's a confident throw by Bender,
sure
isn't it?
Sure is.
From the 44-yard line of Oklahoma.
Misread there.
Yeah. Busted play, and Bender will just eat it. Amatu, coming away with the tackle. Dillon has been very active early in this game. Maybe a loss of about a half yard to about a yard. Amatu.
It happens, Timmy.
Ooh.
Goes the opposite direction. You know, you hate it when it happens. The back goes one way, Herbert goes that way. Wait, you're riding and meshing, and again, Herbert didn't even think he was getting the ball. He had the wrong call altogether. It happens from time to time.
Sort of like our rehearsals on occasion. 2nd and 10.
Let's see how they respond to it, though. That's the key.
Bender's pass underneath, caught by Saunders, the tight end. Now a quick word from Duracell. I did get in the spirit. I did hear the fa la 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 la. Did you hear that?
I felt your power.
Yeah. Something tells me we will hear from Duracell again. 3rd down and 6. Problems again. And we got markers down to go with it.
That will be your one copper top moment for the night.
Oh boy. Eddie Shelton, our referee, hearing from both his side judge.
False start, offense. Number 7, 5-yard penalty. We play 3rd down.
Whoops. Whoops. And he's tagged with the pre-snap movement too. So a false start is the call and backs him up.
Twice on this series, we've had execution issues by Kansas, and it's becoming a problem. And despite that, though, Tim, just 4 yards of difference total between these two teams. 217 for Kansas, and alternately OU with 213 yards. No one would ever thought that prior to the game.
Well, in a manner of speaking, they may have gotten a break with the penalty.
Yep.
Because it's 3rd and 11, they get a do-over here. Pressure off the corner, and the pass is caught and spun down. Puka Williams all popped out of there. So did Puka down to the 39-yard line. So a pickup of 5, 4th and 6 coming up. That's Kenneth Murray with the tackle.
Yeah, Kenneth's the middle linebacker, but here's where the pressure's coming off the backside. And again, trying to avoid it. Trey Norwood providing that pressure. Open field tackle and a better job by the
elbow down
Sooners.
right there. So he was down right there. So it's 4th and 6. 38% their percentage on 4th down conversion, 6 out of 16. I think he's going to wait let the clock wind down and take a timeout. David Beatty. That's his
Timeout,
final one
Kansas.
of this half.
Third and final timeout of the half.
Oh, Stevie Wonder.
Fox College Football, presented by Ram Trucks, is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by U.S. Army. Our aerial coverage tonight, which you can see some cloud cover making its way in as the cool air and north wind flows here along the plains. Brought to you by our good neighbors at State Farm. Started cooling off about sunset. It's going to get well down into the 30s by game's end. But it's a Kansas team now that does have the wind behind them. So they need to get this first down on 4th and 6. At least get themselves in position for points with the wind behind their kicker, Gabriel Rui. He's already kicked a 45-yarder. First things first, though, it's 4th down. They swing it out, pass incomplete, and it was pretty well defended, too. I'm not sure if Puka Williams had caught it, if he would have gotten the first down, because Oklahoma had that one covered rather well.
Yeah, they did do a nice job. Jordan Parker was back there as well, and I think part of it was the ball was out, but the pressure was what affected him. You got Curtis Bolton back there at the wheel position, got a hand on him, and kind of forced the issue.
Ruffin McNeil, the new defensive coordinator, former head coach at East Carolina. Give him a little high five action. What a wonderful man. One of my favorite people in all of college football. And of course, Lincoln was with him. He was after him when he was working for Bronco Mendenhall at Virginia. And now in what would be deemed the twilight of his career, he's back together again with someone he loves dearly, and that's Lincoln Riley. Kennedy Brooks in the backfield as they take over on downs. Here comes pressure, and Kyler's just got to get rid of this one. Outstanding pressure coming from Issy Holani, number 6. And Ruffin, you know, Spencer, I don't know how he lost his job at East Carolina after the job he did there. That's number 1.
The offensive numbers they put up was off the chart.
Yeah.
The defense was solid. You know, I'm still scratching my head. But they say, Tim, it's tough to go home. You know,
it is.
That old proverb about a prophet's words being well received in a foreign land than his home territory. That applies to him because, well, I'm still scratching my head about that.
Tell you what, Pat Dye is still proud of him. I'll tell you that.
You better believe it.
Pat coached him at East Carolina before going to Auburn in his Hall of Fame career. Murray looking and incomplete, intended for Calcaterra. We're going to get a marker. We will. Mike Lee was back there with him. Yeah, and I think Kansas is really upset about this one.
Yeah, there was a little hand jousting going on there, but I think number 11, the free safety, Mike Lee, as you said, out of New Orleans, Louisiana, was back there with a little extra hand. Yeah, I think, you know, it's...
I don't know.
Yeah,
they're allowing a lot of jousting
on there.
Tell you, Clint Brown.
Defense, number 1. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Clint Bowen really disagrees with this one, and you don't see him offer up that kind of argument. And he was running right alongside his defender.
But they called it on number 1. That would have been Bryce Tornado.
Number 11.
Yeah. No, it's 11.
Yeah.
He just corrected himself. Now, you see right at the top of your screen, that's Clint Bowen, the defensive coordinator.
But what he's raking is using that left hand to rake his right hand off of him. It could have been offensive pass interference.
I agree. On 1st and 10, Brooks ahead. Joe Deneen making the stop. With what's been allowed so far in this game and in other games we've seen, to me, that was a no call.
Listen, I think this has been a heck of a first half for Kansas. I mean, over the last decade, they've been averaging right about 7 points against Oklahoma. I mean, they're sitting here with 10.5 and an edge in overall yards to this point. It's been impressive. Looks a lot like last year's game in terms of overall yards in the first half.
Murray. Well, they're trying to keep him in his lane, but this is where he thrives. Look at that. Wow. Just look at that. It's Marquise Brown. He's still on his feet. Hello. How do you do? It's a first down.
Man, this is like a circus. It's just amazing what this guy can do off of what should have been play action in a minimal gain. He keeps the play alive.
Look at that.
And all of that motion inside the tackles, and then he finally releases the ball. It's almost like he understands what his weakness is, and he's going to continue to push the ball downfield and not have to run it. Absolutely amazing.
After the play, Daniel Wise, number 96, just came over and gave him a high five. You just have to tip your cap and appreciate the talent you're going up against. Wise is an amazing nose, and he knew that was just Kyler being Kyler. 1st and 10. Brooks burrows down near the 30-yard line.
Daniel Wise and all those guys up front. I mean, that's just one of those plays, man. You can see Brown doing a nice job of working the route to stay open. The comebacker, he looks over and sees his quarterback is in trouble, and he's taught to go vertical. If the boundary's not there, he's going to turn that vertical or come back underneath.
That's a quick out route. And the connection to Charleston Rambo, number 14, the redshirt freshman from Cedar Hill, Texas.
Yeah, but I don't care how good a condition you're in, man. You're going to be left panting like a lizard on a hot rock after that kind of play. I'm telling you.
A lizard on a hot rock, huh?
That's right. You ever seen one of those?
Yeah, actually I have.
Yeah, your spotter's from Arizona. He's seen a few of those.
Yeah.
Brett Bender has.
We've got them in Louisiana too.
Yeah.
Spencerism number 3 in the first half. Brooks, first down. Just an amazing play by Murray.
Well, you can't script it. That's the thing about it. Again, you don't know what to do from a defensive standpoint. You start putting your head on a swivel. And he gets hit after all of that and still is able to do it. Shows you a nice little sportsmanship, a little love there.
Daniel Wise.
How about that, Daniel Wise?
Yeah, he's a great young man, a fantastic leader for this team.
He is the leader.
Yeah, his dad played for the Saints. Yep. His dad, Dietrich, and also the BC Lions.
Double gap.
Quick out to Brown. Quick feet. Oh, yeah. It's 1st and goal. And that's why Kansas needed to convert that 4th down earlier. That's 13 yards and a first.
I call this the snap screen. You know, you got a lot of bodies up in front, and to be able to sift through all of that trash and garbage in there, that's what it's set up for. Not to the wide side of the field where you got a lot of room to navigate. It's just the opposite concept. Still trying to get the ball in the guy's hands, but boy, it's a tighter phone booth kind of arrangement, but you're still expecting a superior athlete to make a play, and he did.
To your point, the Jayhawks have defended Murray about as well as you can, and yet he's 13 of 16. And has made a couple of big-time plays here on this drive. Brooks spun down at about the 7. Shaq Taylor, number 8. Junior college transfer from Mesa Community College.
Nice little 2-guard play, little concept that Lincoln Riley likes to do. Guys are blocking down and the right guards are going the opposite direction.
2nd and goal. Brooks remains the setback. CeeDee Lamb is to the bottom of your screen. Brooks, it's wide open, touchdown!
Watch it!
10th rushing touchdown for Kennedy Brooks.
What a job by Creed Humphrey here, reaching the guy who's got his outside eye. He tries to shed him away, wrong decision. But when you feel a defensive player try to go in opposite direction, and you know as the guard that the play is designed to go that way, you'd let him go. He's helping you out. I mean, it's just great instinct by Creed.
Seibert with the extra point. Long drive, 9 plays, 60 yards, over 4 minutes. Brooks gets it done, and the Sooners back up by 11 now.
Coming up on the State Farm halftime, West Virginia and Oklahoma State went down to the final play. Texas, Iowa State battled to stay alive for the Big 12 championship game. And Ohio State and Michigan both had major issues a week before the game. Tim, Spencer, see you at the break.
All right, thank you. And that Iowa State game with Texas is very important. And you see Kennedy Brooks, who's been really taking every... We mentioned earlier the loss of Dom Williams for Kansas, and Trey Sermon hasn't been heard from since very early. And there are some reports abound that we may not see him the rest of the way. So it could be Brooks going for Oklahoma, and they're depleted at that position. As you see Steven Sims bringing it back up.
That would reduce Oklahoma down to 1 scholarship
That's
back
right.
That's fully healthy, and that,
Yep.
that would be a tough spot to be in against this bunch. Again, a little thin at this Oklahoma offense that's all of a sudden in the last 3 weeks have become prolifically balanced and down to 1 scholarship back now, if indeed Sermon is out.
Yeah, we had a chance, by the way, to visit, you and I, with Rodney Anderson. What a nice young man he is.
Oh, great.
Yesterday, and he's been through so much, and you could tell there was indifference and concern, but still very optimistic.
He's going to be all right. Blew out his knee early in the year.
Puka Williams has had a great half. He just keeps getting 9 and 10 yards every time he touches it. Tell you, that lack of a 4th down conversion earlier, Spencer, you knew that was a 7-point swing play right there for Kansas.
No question.
He's up to 118 yards now, Puka Williams. It's a game for many people. It's a half for him. Look at that. And that's the way the half will end. He'll be above 130 for the half. But the Sooners lead it 21-10. Let's send you now to Rob Stone in Los Angeles for the State Farm halftime show. Well, wait a minute. We got a problem. Hang on a minute.
Chippy over there on that sideline.
Hang on just a minute. I'm ready to send it to Rob, and it looks like the bad blood from a year ago is carrying over a little bit.
Justin Broyles and those guys back in the back end need to be careful.
It happened at the end of this play, Spencer.
Yeah, it did.
Puka Williams had taken it a distance. It's Tony Holt you see in there, one of the assistants. And Kansas is now making their way out. I believe this is a spillover from a year ago, going back to what happened before the game. And Lawrence, let's take a look at it. You see Puka being taken out. That hit, oh boy.
Yep.
Now he did try to hold him up, but Kansas took exception to the fact that he went after him. You'll see what happens here. Deneen was very upset.
Yeah, I think
Justin Broyles was the first to make contact, and he did out of bounds. We should mention that. But after he knew he was out of bounds,
he looked like he was trying to pull up.
He tried to pull up, yes. But Kansas had already taken exception to it.
No question about it. And that happens. You come in with a chip on your shoulder after a tough loss.
All right. Now I think we're ready to go to Rob Stone. And Rob, we need a deep breath here. At halftime in Norman, Oklahoma, number 6 in the country, leading 21-10 over the Kansas Jayhawks, along with Holly Saunders downstairs. Spencer Tillman in the booth. That wind keeps whipping down the plains, doesn't it? Now, let me tell you something. That Oklahoma offense will keep whipping it too. Even when you shut them down for the most part, and Kansas did okay. Yeah. Man, they're creative.
Well, that creativity can lead to confusion. I think that's kind of what happened on this particular play. When you look at Bryce Tornadian, he's the nickel back that comes in there. Look, he's trying to protect himself by covering this guy. We call this a green dog technique. If that back does not come out of the backfield, typically he is going to be blitzing. But because he does nothing, it tells me he doesn't understand his coverage. There's no one behind him. Meantime, just look at Carson Meyer. The back that was in the H-back position, the fullback wide open, splitting the difference there. And again, Coach Clint Bowen is going to give him a little information, a little talking to on that particular play right there.
When you look at our Geico first half stats, look at those rushing yardage. Puka Williams due in large measure to that, as the guys back in the studio documented for you. And the kick is not going to be brought back. A touchback as Miles T says takes a knee. And let's go down to Holly Saunders, who talked with both coaches.
Yeah, they get down. I talked to Coach Riley, and he said that touchdown before half was absolutely huge. He said that's huge for their momentum. In this half, they're really going to work on getting separation. He said that's something they struggled with here in the last couple of games. Separation was key, but they're going to have to try and do it, Tim, without Trey Sermon. He's on the sidelines. He has a boot on his left foot. We will not be seeing him the second half.
Yeah, this is the ankle that was the problem, and it happened on that opening series, Holly. And that meant Kennedy Brooks had to tote it. And he's the only scholarship back that they have available to them. The others aren't dressed. He got hammered right there at the 30-yard line by Mike Lee, who had the strip and fumble recovery. And you see the boot on Trey Sermon, as Holly mentioned. But, I mean, with the loss of Anderson earlier in the year.
T.J. Pledger's the only guy that they've got back. He was nursing a little hip injury, too. He was coming back.
Yeah, he can't go. And Sutton is also out. Brooks again. When you talk about running with a band, he's got to run carefully here. 6-yard gain and a first down. Very important series for the Kansas defense to open this half. You know, they won the toss, elected to receive. And that means Oklahoma touches it first. You don't want to be behind 18 before your offense comes on the field in the second half.
No question. And typically, if you're Lincoln Riley, you've made some adjustments, and there will be 1 or 2 big plays coming within the first 2 or 3 series as a result of those adjustments.
There's some pressure, but Murray got away. The pass is picked. Shaq Taylor comes down with it. What an athletic play by Shaq Taylor. And the Jayhawks get just what they need. Brian Lipscomb 58 with the pressure. And that thwarted this effort by Murray.
He was looking for C.D. Lamb out there. First of all, the pressure helped him. And then he came all the way back to the opposite side of the field where he had a man open, but that ball was underthrown. Excellent job of identifying, and as you said, Timmy, climbing the ladder and going up and getting and pulling it down by Shaquille Taylor.
Now that is a tilt play, and David Beatty knows it. And Clint Bowen, the defensive coordinator, so concerned at the end of the first half, gets the electric play his defense had to get to open the second half. I think we're going to see a little Williams and Herbert here on the quick curl. It's Steven Sims, who's been quiet tonight. And this is a go-to receiver. He had 5 receptions for 113 yards, a touchdown. His 8th career 100-yard game against K-State a week ago.
You know, Holly was talking about, you know, separation and things of that nature. When you have this big of a cushion, your separation is already created. Oklahoma's got to either affect the quarterback with the pass rush, Curtis Bolden at the wheel position. Somebody's got to get after this quarterback. Otherwise, it's going to be a long night. Now they're going to press look up front.
Herbert. Good penetration that time by Bolton to make the stop. Khalil Herbert, by the way, young man, junior from Pearl Springs, Florida. Spencer, he was born with additional fingers on his hands. 6 fingers on each hand, also had an additional toe. Got rid of that in his infancy. And you know what? The young man has done a very good job of growing into the position, and he doesn't turn the ball over very often. Season high 91 yards on 21 carries against Iowa State. 2nd and 12.
Real soft coverage for Oklahoma.
Bender, plenty of time. On the check down goes to Puka. Look at him. He just won't go down. He will not go down. Puka Williams says, I'll see you, and I'll move it.
That was a self-tackle. You thought Curtis Bolton, the will, had him down and dead to rights. Puka slips out of there. Man, this guy is just like...
He's doing a Kyler Murray impression.
Look at him.
He's doing
a whirling dervish. I mean, Curtis Bolton tried to mount him, man. He was hoping for an 8-second ride, but he got bumped off by Puka.
I thought
Puka looking like bodacious out there.
Well, that's an impression of Kyler Murray back there. Look at those yards. 155 total. 18 receiving. Herbert back in the game. 3rd down and 4. Herbert got a first down. Spun down by Kenneth Murray.
Murray was on the receiving end of that blow. I mean, again, you got to back this running with significant leverage. Even if you're a middle linebacker like Kenneth Murray plays, he's about 232 out of Missouri City, Texas. Saw him play a lot of ball in Southwest Houston, but he got it taken to him on that play. And again, it's just about physical play, man. This is impressive what Kansas is doing on this drive.
I think a lot of people around the press box at halftime were saying this. Gosh, I didn't know Kansas was that good. They're looking pretty good tonight. Out pattern to Sims again. Another first down for the Jayhawks.
Hey, but for a lost fumble late in the game last week, they probably beat Kansas State, man. This team is not very far away from being a decent team. Nice job of moving after the catch to make a guy miss for additional yardage. Find that line to gain for a first.
Led KU in both receptions and receiving yards and averaged a career best 14.2 yards a catch a year ago. 15 first downs now for KU. Herbert, Khalil gets it down to the 2, maybe the 3. Wow. I think they'll spot it at the 3-yard line.
Inside zone is Vogue. Coach Beatty wants another one. He's calling the plays now.
Beginning to understand why Holly Saunders said that Coach said that the next guy is going to be lucky to get this job. Khalil Herbert with a touchdown. And Kansas right now does look like a team playing with an edge. Well, we began our show with that conversation piece with the coach.
Well, Timmy, let's see the guard pulls here. Let's see what they do to make this play work. Nice job of bouncing it outside. It was really just the speed there, outrunning Trey Norwood on the outside that got him in there. The guard did his job, just a mush inside. Nothing there, so the inside zone designed for inside was able to spill because of the speed.
I think a lot of people felt, I know I did, if Oklahoma scores, then look out, this game could be done. But this play right here, a 14-point swing. If OU scores, you're down 18. Instead, you get the pilfer, and you're only down 4. It's game on for KU. Fox College Football is presented by Ram Trucks, built to serve, and is sponsored by Allstate, reminding you that football season is mayhem. Well, that last Murray interception was only his 6th all season. He has his 33rd touchdown thrown earlier, and you see what happened with Herbert with that magnificent run set up by the Shaq Taylor interception. And those takeaways and points off, Spencer, adding up now for Kansas.
Always has been the great equalizer, always will continue to be.
Trey Brown pushed back at the 23-yard line. Let's quickly get a game break from Los Angeles and Greg Wolf.
Tim, thanks. Number 2, Clemson facing Duke. Blue Devils haven't won in Death Valley since 1980. Clemson's first series, second half. Travis Etienne, 27-yard score. The Tigers lead 21-6, third quarter. Tim, Spencer, back to you.
Get ready for Chapter 4 of Alabama Clemson. Whenever that it will be played, we just don't know whether it's a semifinal or a final. Just underway, third quarter, and now the Sooners, we'll see if that explosive offense can come back to the headlines. Kennedy Brooks, but remember they are playing with 1 scholarship running back only, so not a lot of help for Kyler Murray.
Yeah, one thing I'm going to be tracking here is what the Sooners do on first down in terms of yards. Typically, traditionally, it's a running play. Again, 4 yards is typically what they had on that particular play there, but we'll see what they're able to register the rest of the way out.
2nd and 6, that CD
option game.
Yep. Marquise Brown was in motion. They come back with the option to Kennedy Brooks towards the boundary, and he's undercut by Mike Lee, but it's a first down for the Sooners.
It looks like a decent play, but if you had one of your Fleetfoot backs in there that's able to run, that play right there is turned into one that hits the other end of the goalpost, man. It's about speed and getting to the edge.
Brooks is up to 104 yards now. Out of the shotgun, Murray lets it fly, and it's Marquise Brown for a first down. Into Kansas territory at the 48, 15 yards.
Hassan defense again was working number 13 back in the back end. He got turned around, and too much separation between the ball and the defender there for him. When a guy gets turned around like that, man, it's just like stealing. The ball moves faster than the body. There's no way he can recover once he gets turned around.
14 of 18 for 178. A touchdown and a pick for Murray. Out route caught. That's CD Lamb.
Well, they like that deep out, man, and that's a dangerous pass. It's really another version of the one that got intercepted with even tighter coverage out there. You got to really be careful if you want to make that next level type throw.
A little more woofing there between Bobby Evans and Wise at the end of this play in that interior alignment.
Goes over the top of that cover 2 look. Again, a near guy up, but once again, that was a defense that looked like he was able to cover. Hassan defense was back there in position. Just got over his head.
5 catches for 52 for Lamb. Everyone thrown his way, he's caught. There goes Brooks again to the 30-yard line. And now a quick word from Duracell. That's what we call a make good fa la 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 la.
Sooners trying to power up their offense too with the little 2-gap guard scheme there on that last play.
2nd and 5. Murray
got him.
Wow. Just missed him. Yep. You'd love to have that one back. Marquise Brown was wide open. It'll be 3rd and 5 coming up.
Shaquille Taylor was just absolutely turned around in coverage on the back end of that. And those are the kind of plays, man, you got to make good on them. Marquise Brown wide open. Murray's got to put it on the spot.
3rd and 5. Plenty of time, and he's going to tuck it and run this time. Boy, I think he may have made that choice a little late, and Joe Dineen was able to run him down, and that'll bring up a 4th down.
Kind of got caught in no man's land trying to use his protection up in front of him, but again, just Dineen did a fantastic job of going horizontal, lateral to the field, and nice football play. The only thing could have been better about that tackle is the head would be on the outside, but that's an excellent job by a big man trying to tackle one of the fastest players on this squad.
They're going to turn down a field goal try for Seibert and go for it on 4th down. 56%, 5 of 9 on the year. Does this surprise you any?
It does surprise me, but they're in a tough spot. They've got this thing covered right here off the edge, and they've got the numbers here. This is a bad look for the Sooners here.
Murray in trouble, but he does tuck it again. Look out, those legs will do it every time. You're right. Kansas defensively was deployed perfectly.
They were the scheme. They had the scheme.
Outstanding individual effort by a great player.
That's the difference. When somebody's got the numbers and you are in a compromised situation, you call on your quarterback, your difference maker, and Murray did it again. Just pulled a rabbit out of his hat, man. There's nowhere that they should have been able to run this ball or pass it for that matter. But for that guy right there, he's special.
That's why Lincoln Riley has the ultimate confidence in his quarterback right there. No doubt about it. Your pre-snap read was perfect. Murray again, lots of time, and now just heaves it out of there. Outside the tackle box, so no marker. Marquise Brown, the intended receiver, but it sailed way over his head.
Tim, what's clear to me is Clint Bowen, the defensive coordinator for Kansas, did his homework in the first half. He's come out with a second half kind of mindset where he's more aggressive, has great integrity in what they're doing, and he's getting the push up front that's creating pressure and doing exactly what they told us they wanted to do against this great quarterback, Kyler Murray.
You know, Clint, as we said, goes all the way back to the great days, you know, when Reesing was at quarterback and KU was actually in 2008 with Mark Mangino playing in a 1-2 game against Chase Daniel. Went through the mess with Charlie Weiss, was an interim coach for a period of time, but Beatty got the job, kept him as DC. There goes Brooks inside the 10, down to the 9. It'll be 1st and goal as Lipscomb makes the stop. That's a 14-yard gain.
Well, it's about instincts. Murray, inside zone read. Brooks does a nice job of pushing upfield. This is what you need to do. Push the edge as much as you can. It's tough for a defender to change direction when you see where you want to go. He must react to you, and this is just good instinctive running by a guy that doesn't have blazing speed, but he's got instincts, does Brooks.
Ball is at the 9-yard line. Brooks now with 123 on the ground. You see the current drive now, 68 yards. They've held the ball for over 4 minutes. Option.
They played that option well.
And he just took a seat. Nice thought by Kyler. Fans wanted a late flag as he took his seat, but you could see that Cody Cole III pulled up.
Well, the option game that was an easy touchdown in the first half, not so much here. They played it well. Slide, slide, slide. Great pitch relationship is there, but they take it away on the opposite end. Fantastic job by Bryce Tornaden and all those guys playing the option game well.
He led with his hands. Blue Birds were out, but there's no call on that. 2nd and goal. Trips to the top of your screen. In that corner, through the hands of CeeDee Lamb.
You know, that's, again, you let the ball climb on you like that.
You know,
we'll have another look at it. You pluck that ball out of the air. CeeDee Lamb lets this ball hit his pads. You see how he lets it climb on him? Go pluck that out of the air. And Tyler Murray's disappointed in it because he hit him on the mark.
He did. Well, that's his first miss. He's been targeted 6 times. That's the first one that he hasn't caught. So 3 for 4 on 3rd down tonight, and that's what they face. 3rd and goal. Brooks remains the setback.
Nice little sugar look going on here. All that means is they're giving him some sense of blitzing coming, and they're going to come too.
Yeah, here they come, right up the gut. Kyler Murray in trouble. He'll do it on his own. There he goes. Touchdown.
Timmy, when you take bad angles, Azur Kamara, the left defensive end, number 5, tough for a guy like that to change directions. He's 6'4", 225 pounds, and again, the leverage wouldn't allow him to come back. The hesitation by Zamara, watch him come upfield, bites on it, That guy right there is too fast to try to redirect and catch him.
Spencer, as he's coming off the field, he's hobbling a little bit, Murray.
Well, this Kansas Jayhawk defense has been touching him up a little bit.
Yeah. He may just be a little bit tired after a couple of plays he had to make there. 9th rushing touchdown, his second today. 42 total yards. But the Sooners now up 11 again, 28-17. Fox College Football, presented by Ram Trucks, is sponsored by Wendy's, the official hamburger of NCAA football. Well, we'll see Connor Murray on one knee. His coach came over to see him. I think he may be more tired than anything else. He had to tote it quite a bit there. You see his evening graphically. 15 of 22 for 191. That was his 42nd touchdown of the year. 6 rushes for 27 yards tonight. And on that drive right there, Spencer, 2 incredible plays on a 4th and 6 conversion that a normal quarterback that's merely mortal won't make.
Those 2 plays is the reason why they were able to score. Again, there's no defense for them.
Well, I think we hit the old near whiff there for
those flags. There's a stiff wind coming.
Yeah, Seibert was like,
big time.
Yeah, and by the way, if you've noticed, the fans in the corner of the stadium, many of them have left. He put his brakes on just in time, a little bit like Tiger Woods in a backswing. He knows when to pull back, stop the swing in mid motion.
You're going to make the point about the fans up top there because of the wind. It's about 15 degrees cooler up there, by the way.
Yeah, and it is cold. It has gotten much colder as the game has progressed. Here goes Puka Williams. He's out beyond the 30 to the 33. Timeout, 5:32 remaining. Jayhawks trying to hang tough against number 6 Oklahoma. Time now for our heavy-duty players, sponsored by Ram Trucks, built to serve. And Puka has been running heavy, Spencer.
Well, he's been running heavy, and he's been running with intentionality and discernment. The ability to use his speed once he makes a decision, puts his foot in the ground, and then when he has to change direction, I love the fact that this guy is instinctive. He will not go down. He was like a whirling dervish on that play.
Well, they begin at the 33. There you see the numbers on Puka. They can move him around a lot, especially with Herbert in there. They swing it out to Steven Sims. A little wide receiver inside bubble screen.
Yep.
Gets a little bit in front of Trey Norwood, number 13, a sophomore from Fort Smith, Arkansas, Northside High School.
I had a chance to see Steven Sims. He's a junior out of Houston, Texas. He's a little small guy, about 5'10", 176, but he's so dangerous. That's why they were trying to get the ball to him on those little slim seam routes, and then, of course, on the screen as well.
2nd down and 9. They gave the reins to Bender earlier in the year, Spencer, and he has quietly gone about the business of being very effective. Herbert helps, as does Puka Williams, no question about that.
Well, Tim, in a year when there's been so much instability, I think it was early October when Coach Beatty fired Doug Beacham and took over the play calling duties himself. So you look at how much change has been a part of this offense. To be able to have any continuity whatsoever, 4 different, the new head coach that comes in, it will have been 4 different head coaches since 2000. So a lot of instability. We know that continuity makes for good, solid football teams.
3rd down and 4. Another one that's tipped around the line of scrimmage yet again. That's the 3rd time Amani Bledsoe has time to throw from Peyton Bender and knocked it back.
Yeah, the truth be known, Amani Bledsoe, great job there, number 72. But for the most part, Tim, it's been a mixed bag for him. On the run games, Kansas has been able to get outside of him on some substantial runs. So not able to get to the quarterback, at least he can affect him by getting his hands up in the air.
Kyle Thompson will be called upon to punt. CeeDee Lamb is back deep, awaiting at his 20-yard line.
Opportunity for a decent return here.
Pretty good coverage, but Lamb knows where to go. You're right. They got out of their lanes, and he takes the edge. Look at this. All the way back to near midfield. 46-yard boot. 28-yard return. Sooners looking to go for the jugular when we come back. CD says see ya. Here's tonight's Duracell most trusted player. Any doubt, Spencer?
Nope, no doubt whatsoever. You can trust him because when everything breaks down, he's got the power to go finish and close the deal. Even when things go awry, he's able to find and make something happen and show you he's got the speed and the juice on the back end. He never runs out of it. He's like that Energizer guy.
He is. Play fake. Here he is again, looping it, finding his man, Carson Meyer. They love to find Meyer coming out of the backfield, out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. You know, he runs those wheel routes with a plum.
He scored on a seam, of course, earlier in the half.
He did.
Showing you the elusiveness, again, staying within the pocket to find and create. Nice little out cut there. Meyer does a nice job of getting downfield after the completion.
Ball at the 32-yard line. Meyer, by the way, 3 receptions for 19 yards. That was his 3rd reception for 19. He's got 49 on the night. And Brooks takes it down to about the 26-yard line. Hassan defense with the stop. To put it in perspective, Oklahoma's explosive offense, take a look at this.
Yeah, these guards pulling, that's been the ticket for Lincoln Riley this half. And again, those backs have to be instinctive. Just excellent job of moving upfield. Cody Ford, who had some issues in the half with penalties, but on that play, he was really, really assignment conscious. Did a nice job.
From the 26 at 2nd and 4. Looping it for Lamb. Tipped into the air, almost intercepted too. It falls incomplete.
Lamb's had a couple opportunities to make plays in that corner over there. That one was defense exceptionally well. Outstanding play on the back end. It was CeeDee Lamb is a tremendous athlete, physically gifted, able to go up and climb and make plays happen, but good defense is good defense.
Kyle Mayberry made that play, the junior from Tulsa. 3rd down and 4. I think he may have gotten a little dinged on that play, Lamb. Curl caught at the 18 by Rambo. They'll actually say he got to the 17-yard line.
And Mayberry defending on that play. But you see CD kind of gimping, getting up, taps himself out in the helmet. Got some issues, so he's a tough cat, though. He'll come back if he can.
Kansas really needs to hold Oklahoma to 3 here. You want to have any chance of making a run against the Sooners. You don't want to fall behind by 3 scores.
The Sooners can be lethal inside the red area. I mean, because the playbook actually expands because of the skill set of number 1.
Look at that time he's got. And he's finally hauled down. That's a coverage sack right there.
I mean, what does that tell you about what Clint Bowen's guys are doing on the back end, man? I mean, the coverage is just like a blanket. Off coverage on the outside. Again, both corners. Eye discipline is unbelievable. In the flat area, they're playing boundary. The shallow underneath, they are just assignment conscious, not going to be fooled by the route combinations by the Sooners.
You see Holani wound up making the tackle. First sack of the night by either team.
You know, Coach Clint said there's a couple things they need to do, and one of them is to take away the route combinations of choice. That was an example of it.
2nd and 13, they swing it out to Brooks. Take it out inside the 15-yard line.
You know, the Sooners do about 5 things really well, and they do them out of multiple formations, but there are about 5 route combinations that if you can get your guys to hone in it, you can have success against them.
Gain of 7, so it's 3rd down and 6. Now this is an offense that averages 0.74 points for every offensive play this year. I mean, think about that.
Yep.
And Kansas has done a remarkable job tonight of extending them to the extent that they could.
Now they got numbers to the field where they want to go with the ball.
Brooks, look out. Touchdown.
Tim, it's been a steady appetite of this two-guard pulling scheme right here. This is what Lincoln Riley likes a lot because those guys are mobile. They can get up in there and make tremendous plays and then be kind of like escorts. Cody Ford, once again, the right tackle, does a nice job, not just pulling from assignment, but finishing on the back end to make the last block on that play. Look at him on Cody Ford pushing on Lee. Man, he was on the front end of that as a pulling tackle and then closing. That's what you call end-to-end solution in the run game.
Seibert, I believe we have a whistle prior to the snap of the ball. Flag coming down pre-snap. By the way, Brooks is up to 142 yards rushing on 20 carries and 2 touchdowns. And he's the lone scholarship running back left after the loss of Trey Sermon on the opening series. Ali documented that at halftime. He's now out there in a boot.
Illegal substitution. Defense. 12 players in formation. Penalties decline. Try for point.
That's one of the first and only mistakes that Clint's defense has made that's been significant tonight. They have really played well. Their Kansas native coach.
There's going to be a lot of news within the next 24 hours about the future head coach for Kansas.
Now, he's got head coach written all over him. I can tell you that. It won't happen here, but I can tell you at some point in time he'll get an opportunity. But in the interim, whoever the head coach is going to be, and we know what the tea leaves have told us.
You think?
Correction.
I think there's
It'll be half the distance to the goal. Try for point.
I think there's an interested party, an old friend of ours in Baton Rouge that's pretty impressed with what Clint Bowen has done tonight from a defensive standpoint. And to Clint's credit, when his friend David Beatty got the job, they both made up each other's minds that they would hire the other one. Depending upon who got the job, but they both interviewed for it back then.
But this ain't about nepotism with these guys right. These guys right here are quality coaches, and Coach Bowen in particular is an elite coach, knows the program well.
Mr. Brooks is having some fun tonight. Yeah. 35-17 our score here. Oklahoma with the lead. And the party is on here at Gaylord Family Memorial Stadium. The ones that decided that it wasn't too cold are enjoying themselves. We have a different kicker for Oklahoma rather than Seibert. It's going to be Caleb Sutherland. Excuse me, I beg your pardon, that's Levi Draper. And Squibbit. He comes up to the 39-yard line. The old dueling numbers at work again. That's Caleb Sutherland. So it's very strange to not see that in the NFL you do not see dueling numbers. Makes those jobs a lot easier than ours. Don't forget, we've got a Thanksgiving feast coming up. Adrian Peterson, the division-leading Redskins, land in Dallas to take on Ezekiel Elliott and the Cowboys. It all starts at 4 Eastern on Fox.
A former Sooner there be in action. Houston native and lives in Houston now anyway, but still churning out yards.
Puka Williams in the backfield. Here's the problem for Kansas. They've been most effective running the ball, and now the clock is against them. You see Khalil Herbert ahead for 6, so it's 2nd down and 4. You want to control the ball, Spencer, and that's fine, but now you're down by 3 scores.
Yeah, you want to put the ball in there at some point in time, but again, I just think we got to give this Kansas team a lot of credit for the way that they've managed themselves, and coming off a heartbreaking loss, been pretty efficient for the most part, made the Sooners play left-handed on defense.
Second and 4.
Sooners trying to show them a blitz look.
Puka Williams pops it again. There he goes. Corralled inside the 15. They're going to mark it near the 10. Robert Barnes finally took it down.
Robert, as he has been on a couple of times, the last line of defense. You better watch out, because this guy right there can take it to the house to you, Timmy. Puka means business. Sicken Puka.
Fox College Football is presented by Ram Trucks, built to serve. The open play in the fourth quarter with Kansas on the move. As you see what Puka Williams has done tonight. That last run was for 45 yards. Jayhawks need a score to hang in there because you got to figure Oklahoma is going to score almost every time they touch it. Wide receiver screen. Herb Johnson, look at the Sooners just smell that one out. I mean, it looked good early, but Motley got there in a hurry, and he got a lot of help.
Yeah, there was a Motley crew over there helping him out, too. About 5, 6 different Sooners helped him out, man, to make a play on the short side of the field. That's what you talk about when you talk about proximity to the ball.
Carter Stanley, Spencer, has checked into the game. So you got to figure a little change up here for something that they have designed. Carter, the junior from Vero Beach, Florida, with Puka Williams behind him. 2nd and 8. Carter does run the ball pretty well.
As soon as just saved himself right there on that play.
Looks like we got a quick timeout taken by Kansas.
Timeout, Kansas.
They made an adjustment, and then once they did, David Beatty decided to call for a timeout. Fox College Football is sponsored by Ford, built Ford proud, and by Progressive Insurance, handing off big savings to you.
Tim, you don't want to hand off big plays right here. Here's Trey Norwood. He needs to be on this inside slot receiver, but the communication comes late. Unless he's in that slot receiver, the guy who's the better defender of the two, they need to communicate on the back end who has what. That was an accident waiting to happen, and the Sooners are fortunate because this game is about matchups. You do not want an athletic slot receiver matched up against the wrong guy.
And you know, we talked to Ruffin McNeil. Part of the problem for Oklahoma defensively has been the inability to get lined up.
Yep.
Carter Stanley remains in the game at quarterback. Puka Williams is set back with him. Sims, the wide receiver at the bottom of your screen. And that's why they decided to go this route. Look at that. It is Booker. And they're going to say touchdown. That's why you go with Stanley. Puka Williams with the toss. David Beatty got what he wanted.
And you have the kind of run game success that Puka Williams has had. It attracts a lot of attention. Barnes is back there trying to defend, but that ball was thrown like it should have been thrown by a quarterback. It's right on the spot. The only place it could have been caught.
Right foot, the officials say, was down. Let's take a close look right here. Right there. Touchdown.
Well, the side judge was behind it, but he would track it all the way out of bounds.
Yeah, he wanted to make sure he had control of the football.
Absolutely.
He wanted to make sure that control of the football
you
was
can't
there.
throw that ball any better than that. You know, Puka's done it all tonight.
Has he ever?
Barnes is in great defensive position.
Now they certainly needed a touchdown on that drive to stay in this game, and now Gabriel Rui will try for the extra point. Took an extra timeout to get it, but it was certainly needed. Puka Williams with the toss, and you're right. That's right where only one guy could catch it. His teammate. Yes, sir, says David Beatty. Looking at Puka Williams there, the pride of Hanville, Marrero, Louisiana. And you think about what great talent from Louisiana plays outside the state. This is yet another example. Oh, by the way, a touch of irony. The next head coach at Kansas reportedly may be someone that knows a thing or two about the state of Louisiana. Keep that pipeline alive.
Less information is more.
Well, it happened again, didn't it? Seibert once, and now it happens here to Liam Jones, number 46. Handles the kickoff chores for Kansas.
Yeah, it happened again. It just knocked it off.
Yeah, I think now they're going to hold it.
Yeah.
tell you, that's tough when you've already struggled in special teams. That's one less guy to get going. The potential of a run back when you have someone holding for you gives a numbers advantage to the return man, and that's Trey Brown, who's already had a good one tonight. You see the wind is a factor here. This is going to be tees. He calls for the fair catch, so they'll bring it out to the 25. Next Saturday, it's a big one. Buckle up for one of the fiercest rivalries in all of sports. Number 4 Michigan, number 10 Ohio State. Battle for a spot at the Big Ten Championship. Coverage begins next Saturday at 11 Eastern on Fox, or watch anywhere on the Fox Sports app. Boy, were the Buckeyes fortunate earlier today to get past Maryland.
Yeah, but next week, baby, it's going to be my man, Don Brown.
I got news, too. Michigan didn't have a cakewalk with Indiana either. So just getting there sometimes is difficult. But yet again, that great border war will mean so much in the Big Ten and will resonate throughout all of college football. Brooks remains in the backfield. Play fake. Murray.
Tough throw, man.
That ball is tipped.
That's a tough throw.
Crowd responding. Loneker tipped it. And by the way, the moment the ball was tipped, it didn't matter if there was contact with the wide receivers. There was prematurely right there.
This is the third time they tried to throw this route into this type of coverage. And I understand it's part of your game plan. But real time, when they defend that, one of them resulted in an interception. 2 of them were close calls, that latest one being one of them. Coach, you gotta take a look at that, because that deep over is a wicked route against the type of coverage that they've obviously figured out.
Second down and 10. Quarterback draw all the way.
Design draw, yeah.
Why not? Look at him go.
You're not going to catch him.
That's why Kyler Murray is the best player in college football.
Timmy, you know, they talk about running where they ain't, and Lincoln Riley knows how to dial it up exactly the way he wants it. The guards, there's no one over them, sets up the draw. All you need is one downfield block from Brooks. You got that. Now everybody else is in his hip pocket. You ain't gonna catch that guy right there.
99 yards on the night for him after that rushing touchdown of 75.
Well, he may not have been. Wow, there's a block there.
Yeah, Seibert, a rare miss. This can be returned, by the way. This is live. Would count 2 if it's taken back.
He's got a few bodies.
Orion, or Dalen Charlotte, trying to return it, and he is stopped around the 33-yard line. I know what they're saying in Alabama. Kyler's had to play 4th quarters. Our guy hasn't. But for me, he's the best right now. Here's why Kyler Murray is our forward unstoppable player, Spencer.
Bryce Tornaton is a safety here, drops back. You're going to see him drive on this ball. He needs to be taking this angle. Instead, he comes as this angle, and there's a price to be paid from that. He takes it absolutely away from you. That's what Tyler Murphy is about. He's just unbelievable, Tim. The way he affects a defense in terms of scheme, he affects you that way, but individual players who think you've got him into your gun sight, he steals an angle away from you and just embarrasses you.
And I got to tell you, talking with Clint Bowen, he says, you'd really rather him pass it than run it. We're not going to invite him to run the ball. But now, and we should point out, they don't have T.J. Pletcher available. He's dressed, but he's not going to play tonight. Hooker Williams will bring it back. We talked with Lincoln Riley about that, and he's not able to go. And now they're in trouble. They've only got one back, so let the quarterback run it. Let's get a quick game break from Greg Wolf in Los Angeles.
Tim, thanks. Top 20 battle between Iowa State and Texas. Longhorns leading 17-3 third quarter. This was closing seconds of the first half. Sam Ehlinger takes off running. He takes a big hit to that right shoulder. Ball would come loose. He went to the sidelines. Didn't come out with a team for the second half. He's back on the sidelines now, but Shane Buechele has started the second half under center. Back to you.
Wow. Very important game for both teams, particularly Iowa State. They did not have David Montgomery available for the first half. They do in the second. Their outstanding running back. Peyton Bender swings this one out to Steven Sims. Sims has stopped beyond the 25 to the 26. There was an altercation during the game with Baylor. A number of players ejected, one of them being David Montgomery, and it cost him a half's worth of football, similar to a targeting call, if you will, had he been a defender. And that certainly hurt Iowa State in the first half. Still plenty of time to go in that one in Austin. Here it's 2nd down and 4. By the way, that miss by Seibert was the first miss that he's had for a PAT in 162 tries. Khalil Herbert forges ahead for a 1st down. Overton makes the stop. Marquez Overton, number 97.
Marquez almost got that ball spilled and bounced him. Here's the play that you're talking about on the miss. Just got pushed back again. Creed.
Yeah, it's Issy Holani that did the pushing of number 56.
Creed Humphrey.
Creed Humphrey. Sooners lead by 17. So Kansas in must-score mode, as they have been much of the way tonight. That pass incomplete, intended for Booker.
Kansas had something working there, a little switch screen there, but ball's off the mark. Can't pay it off. Barnes in the coverage there, number 20. Looks good in that number, man.
I do recall a number 20, and you also wore 34 here at Oklahoma. You changed. You always wanted Billy's number, is that right?
I did. I wanted Billy Sims. We had a guy named Jerome Ledbetter who had it. Coach Switzer let him go, but the minute he got out of there, I got it.
2nd and 10.
Wow.
Incomplete. Miscommunication there. Kerr Johnson Jr. did not look back for the ball. Speaking of little Spencer Tillman, look at him go. Whether it was Gary Bender on the call or Keith Jackson, look at little Spencer Tillman go.
That was against Kansas, right?
He is a high-stepping young man from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
That was a little mutter, though. You know,
look at those quick, choppy steps. Yeah, boy. Up and over the top, the leap against Nebraska. Oh, boy.
Gotta do what you gotta do, my man.
3rd down and 10. Bender's pass incomplete. Boy, they're screaming for an interference call. They're not going to get it. Trey Norwood, he timed that one up either really, really good or got away with one.
He really did. Jeremiah Booker was the intended receiver, but Norwood was just showing athleticism. You can see number 13 in the slot. He drives on this ball. You know, that's just that left hand may have been on the back, but I don't think it had any impact. He wasn't going to throw a flag on that play.
It was an athletic play. Booker's like, yeah, where's the little yellow hanky? CeeDee Lamb will await the punt for Kyle Thompson. Pressure.
Oh,
they got it. Pa-boom. It's on the ground. Picked up by Bolton. It's touchdown.
There is no foul for roughing the kicker. The player that hit the kicker blocked the ball. Touchdown.
That was a jailbreak, Spencer. Right up the gut. There were 3 guys that could have gotten a hand on it. Bolton was also in there. He was one of them.
I think it was
81.
Braden
Willis that got his hand in there, and then Bolton scooped it up and took it in for the touchdown.
Yeah, Braden Willis was the widest guy out there, and he was almost pulled off at the last second, fearing he was going to run into the kicker, but had the presence of mind, and as you said,
boom, right? Second blocked this year. Both went for touchdowns. Thompson had no chance.
Yeah, but just got that right in there. It's an excellent job of just poking it out. Braden Willis, it's not necessarily form. They usually teach you to take the ball off the foot, extend your hands out there, but he felt like he was too close, and to avoid the penalty, he just stuck that right paw out there. It's one of the most dreaded sounds in special teams.
Got the little Superman jersey working. Does Bolton, the senior out of California.
Well, he's also their best pass rusher, too, and he's been on a lot of special teams tonight. The coverage unit, kind of a trend you see happening in conferences, putting their most skilled players on special teams to make plays like that. That's why they do it.
Willis prepped at James Martin High School in Arlington, Texas. Came away with a block. And Bolton the touchdown. And as we mentioned, that's the second one that they've had. Both have been returned for touchdowns this year. Sadly for David Beatty, it would appear that this is going to be yet another one of those games where you performed admirably, did about all you could, but the other team's got a lot more ammunition and some outstanding individual plays, most of them really by Kyler Murray, will be the ultimate difference. So many almosts. The coach has only won a couple of conference games during his tenure, 6-40 overall coming in. Well, you talk about these teams with one loss and their resumes coming in
strong.
A lot's been said about, the Michigan defense and how it matches up. Of course, Georgia gets a shot at Alabama that could really change things. I don't think there's any question that
they had a chance today.
They did,
but they blew it.
Yeah, if you're talking about images and impressions, Ohio State did not look good today, and they didn't really look good against Michigan State either. Their punter and an inept Michigan State offense had a lot to do with that outcome. Hooker Williams gets ahead for a yard or two, and that's about it.
I thought it was a key moment of transparency on the part of Urban Meyer with the special teams mistake. They got deked on that one, and he took credit, responsibility for it, and it was big of him to do it. But he coaches that special teams, man, and that was a key play in that game.
A lot of people believe Oklahoma is the one offense that could score with Tua Tagovailoa and Alabama. I would concur with that thought process. I would, but I think they've got the hardest road to get there. Listen, they got to play West Virginia next week. Might have to play them again. You got Texas involved, and the potential of having to meet an Iowa State team, depending upon what happens in Austin tonight. And they're late in the third quarter now with Texas leading. As you look at our Coors Light road ahead, the world's most refreshing beer, and West Virginia is next up. Mountaineers will be smarting from the way they lost down the road in Stillwater today.
No question about it. But Tim, I know there's going to be people that want to bury us for saying that Ohio State won today, but it's about style points at this stage of the game, man.
It is. Anybody tells you differently,
they don't know. No.
I mean, that criteria is as nebulous as any rule book has ever been in the history of sport. That pass is caught by Stephon Robinson. And if you don't believe that, ask TCU and Baylor when they were poised in 2014.
Ooh, doctor, I remember
and
that.
TCU dropped 3 spots in 1 week after burying Iowa State at home in the final week.
One of the great miscarriages of justice in recent college football history, that one was.
But to the credit of Ohio State, they got in and they won it. Took the heat off. Out pattern, dangerous pass, but it's caught by Booker. He's into Oklahoma territory, shoved out at the 42-yard line, a gain of 22. Tell you, they're not giving up, boy. They are going to coach until game's end.
Yeah, Brendan Radley-Hiles was the nickel guy in there, number 44. Took a gamble and tried to dive and make a play on the ball, but when you're playing man coverage like that, there's no recourse, man. You got to make a play.
That's Buki. You see Booker now with 5
almost
catches.
made a boo-boo.
Yeah. Hooker Williams,
nice
stop and go. How about that stop and go? Stop and go again. I'll show you. I'll go you. Touchdown, Kansas. I mean, that was just incredible. That is one of those. I know Kyler Murray may be the best player in the country, but let me show you what I can do play.
End-to-end play right here. Just watch the patience that he shows here on this play. Again, leverage. He waits just enough to get through there. Barnes is in his hip pocket already. High steps it out of that, cuts and makes another guy. Barnes on the second time to make a play on him. I'm telling you, man, that's outstanding. Just outstanding piece of running right there.
Puka, 224 yards tonight, 2 touchdowns. And a pass for an opportunity and a touchdown. I mean, that's just an amazing run right there. The ability to stutter step and then stop and go, Spence, that's incredible.
Well, again, let's hope Justin Browse is all right, number 25, but he was on the back end and in the hip pocket of Puka, man.
He's breathing hard, isn't he?
He's tired, man. He had to ride him in there. When you're going down like that, he probably fell on his stomach.
Yeah.
knock the wind out of him, likely. They've got some of the best trainers around us.
Yeah, and Pookie could not help the fact that he came up and over him to get off of him after he was spun down. It does not look good. You see the way he's falling down. Shoulder was certainly in position. There was no other way for Pooka Williams to pick himself up. 9:38 remaining. We'll check on Broyles and hope for the best. Well, a good sign as we come back out of the break. Justin Broyles, 25, freshman from Oklahoma City, redshirt, John Marshall High School, and you can see the concern of the Kansas Jayhawks as well. Even after a wonderful play made by Pooka Williams, he was really struggling to gather his breath. And Lincoln Riley was out there along with just about everyone on their medical staff.
He still doesn't have his wits about him.
He doesn't. Yeah. And you wonder if it's something beyond just the contact, as well as, you know, the way he fell in trying to bring Pooka Williams down. It looks as though they are certainly concerned that it could be more than that.
Well, he's got Scott Anderson out there, one of the best trainers in America. He's going to make sure he's taken care of, to be sure. And
you notice he's walking a little bit to the right.
Yeah,
the right foot. He's walking.
Yeah, it's like he doesn't have control of it.
Yeah, it's almost as if he's walking on the side of his right foot. And we wish the young man well. Quickly, it happens in our game that concerns go well beyond the outcome, and an incredible play by Pooka Williams, and then suddenly the air just taken out of the building, and even to some extent for Kansas after that amazing touchdown run. They're going to go for 2 here to try to make it a 2-score game after the long break. And you see the 2 wide receivers flanked to the bottom of your screen there, actually 3, and it's Sims in motion. Sims will get it and then pitch it to Herbert.
Well-designed play.
How about that? Wow. Boy, they had that 2-point play in their hip pocket. Really well designed. 48-32. It's a 2-possession game well into the night. How about this design? Sims with a quick pitch. Herbert says, I'll take it in. Fox College Football, presented by Ram Trucks, is sponsored by SoFi, a personal finance company to fit your goals. Pooka Williams is putting on a show, the likes of which they generally don't see in these parts unless it's Kyler Murray.
Don't tug on Superman's cape, boy. I tell you, he's something else
He
tonight.
has been incredible. Pride of Hahnville and Aurora, Louisiana, they are jumping up and down about the play of him tonight. Let's get a quick game break after the touchback. Here again is Greg Wolf in L.A.
Tim, thanks. Back to Memorial Stadium. Shane Buechele, we mentioned, filling in for Sam Ellinger. Finds little Jordan Humphrey. Look at him break a tackle. He'll go 27 yards for the score. Buechele, 9 for 9, 81 yards. Texas up 24-3 fourth quarter. They beat Kansas next week. Longhorns are in the Big 12 title game. Tim, Spencer, back to you.
And that will be a more difficult chore than some people may think. Thank you, Greg. It was a very important game for Iowa State tonight that's getting away from them in Austin. They had a chance to maybe play the biggest game they've ever had in the Big 12 Conference, at home with a chance to play for the Big 12 title opportunity. Kennedy Brooks is out to the 35-yard line. A really good run for that young man, and he's going to need the whirlpool when this one's over, too. He's had a great night.
They got a pretty slick facilities here, so that whirlpool
Yes, they do.
Pretty darn nice.
Great to see Joe Castiglione, the director of athletics here. At renovation, we were here for Bedlam, the end of the 2016 season, and I recall Joe saying, well, that's where the pool will be, and, well, we actually could see the pool down.
Yeah, it was nice. Did you see the little red fedora he had on tonight?
Yes, he
it was
did.
Really nice.
Jeff Long, the new athletic director at Kansas, was working with Joe at one time.
Got him wide open, Timmy.
Yes, he does.
So
And missed him. Yep. There have been 2 times tonight where he's missed Marquise Brown when he's been wide open. Other than that, Murray is incredibly accurate. I've only seen him miss 2 open receivers, and both times it was Marquise Brown, and he's got to complete that one.
Yeah, ironically, he's more accurate. It was the double move there, the Dino route we used to call that. He's more accurate when he's on the move in making that particular throw, which is a strange thing. But again, he's got an unconventional release for a guy that's 5'9", but Coach Riley makes it work for him, and when he's on the move, it's tough to stop him. I think his mechanics actually work to his advantage as he's running. There's the option game again.
To the wide side of the field to Brooks. Cuts it back and is up to the 45-yard line. By the way, if you were, and the argument will always be in this Heisman race, well, he's had to play a lot longer. His numbers are going to be where they are because he plays full games.
Apples, oranges,
yeah,
oranges.
Tua Tagovailoa doesn't play fourth quarters generally. Well, if you took the third quarter stats only, he still has a better rating and he still has more yards than Tua Tagovailoa.
When you compare apples to apples and oranges to oranges, he's on par and better.
Brooks gets it down to the 43-yard line. Joe Deneen the stop. There's some Heisman Trophy winners. Gosh, Billy Vessels, Steve Owens, 69.
This guy was a bruiser right there.
Love Billy Sims. Bradford and Baker Mayfield. Jason White, of course, took the Sooners to the BCS title in '03. Only to have Nick Saban's LSU team.
If we didn't have so many Heisman Trophy winners, I'd have been able to get that little script in there, man. We'd have had one panel. Nice.
That's Calcaterra. He's down to the 20.
They couldn't get that shallow crossing route. It was a medium route. They couldn't get it deep, so they tried to go an intermediate, which it works, but against a much safer coverage than they've been trying to do with an over-the-top tight safety and a corner down. That was a very dangerous throw that they tried to make 4 times tonight. Much safer option here.
Oh, you see, no school has ever produced back-to-back Heisman winners at quarterback.
Yep.
Baker Mayfield, of course, the winner a year ago. Kyler Murray very much in it this year.
It's 04-05 when our colleague Leinart and Reggie Bush.
Yep. Different positions, but yep. Brooks head for a couple of yards. A little bit better sight along the sidelines there of Broyles. He is upright. Does need some assistance over there. In constant communication, and they're trying to keep him up and aware. Looks like the verbal skills are good and the eye contact is being made. 2nd down and 9. Quick out to Brown. A piece inside the 10. 13 yards, and it's 1st and goal.
Timmy, back to the comments we made at the top of the show. You know, it's not piling on. It's about the difficult reality in college football now. A 50 spot certainly will look good to some people out there that consider such matters. I'm just saying. Just saying.
That's the way the game has got to be played now. I remember back in the day, Steve Spurrier took all the heat when he had Bob Stoops as his defensive coordinator for running it up. In today's college football, there is no such thing. It's a 2-score game, but hanging half 100 is hanging half 100. Up and over and knocked away. That's a good defensive play by the Jayhawks. As Deontay Ford, 27, extended himself, the junior from Houston's Ridge Point. Carson Meyer, the intended receiver.
You know, Carson, if he wanted to use some creativity, if he's got inside leverage by a defender, there's no coverage behind him. He can really loosen up and kind of be creative and move his body away from him and stop his route short. And that kind of play school or schoolyard creativity happens all the time in this offense.
2nd and goal.
Got that option game again.
Yeah, problems with the exchange that time. Deontay Ford makes the play against Brooks, and I don't think that the space between the runner and the quarterback was where it needed to be, my option friend.
You were a student of the game, Tim. It's about what we call pitch relationship.
Yep.
Brooks, too close.
Oops.
The defender can play both the quarterback and the running back in that scenario again, and when you start to have a fluidness or don't know how to keep that pitch relationship, that ball comes hot to you, and it's tough to handle.
3rd and goal. trips to the bottom of your screen. Marquise Brown, the lowest of that trio. Calcaterra, they love to call his number at this position on the field. Looks like we're going to have a timeout taken by the Sooners.
Timeout, Oklahoma. First timeout of the half. 30 seconds in length.
There's a young man that's staying warm.
Got to move.
Yeah. 48-32, Oklahoma with the lead and the ball. Key third down play coming up here. I'll tell you, more than anything else in the back of his mind, he's got to be thinking, before we go to Morgantown, we need some more running backs available.
Man, there's a play I like down here out of this formation. It's this, and then the out route.
He did, and it's touchdown. It's Calcaterra, right on cue. Great call, partner.
Well, when they shut down the switch route on the outside, the wide will come definitely open, because that trips is what they're thinking you're going to throw to. I mean, you know, you got trips formation, you got an off defender right back here. That's where the opportunity is. Put it in motion and watch why. Nice move. It's wide open. Whether it's cover two, it can't be anybody back there in the end zone. There's no other defender. Once you clear that second level, you're wide open.
Murray's 34th touchdown, the third for Calcaterra. 3 touchdowns rushing, 2 in the air for Kyler Murray tonight. (55-32), and we opened the game tonight, Spencer, talking about some style points. And
did they do enough?
no, I don't think to crack the top 4. I don't think so. But you need to be poised, as they say, Spence. You got to be in position if someone were to fall in front of you.
Well, I've said it 1,000 times. I'm going to say it again. We live in a world of images and impressions.
Yep.
And most people aren't willing to pull away the veneer, even some of those on that panel that makes such wise choices.
By the way, we should give praise to the Citadel. They did something that LSU couldn't do. They scored a touchdown.
Did you see how they scored it in the
Yes,
option
they
game?
did.
The option game?
Just like Georgia Southern did a couple of years ago when they did them, as Ryan Shadler brings it up for the Jayhawks. A little woofing going on along the sidelines again between Oklahoma and Kansas. Tell you, there'll be a little marvelous performance here by Puka Williams. You talk about something for the new head football coach to look forward to. It'll be this young fella from Hanville.
Well, tools, assets, skill sets, that's the difference maker. If you've got a few that you can build around, and Puka certainly qualifies. I mean, this guy's got uncanny instincts and, I mean, just strength for a smaller guy. Awareness. Did you see him pull that ball up high and tight when he felt pressure in his hip? I mean, this is a complete little runner, man. Good God, 242 yards.
By the way, he's got an outstanding name too, doesn't he? In fact, in a great line of football names. What's your favorite of this group, Spencer?
You know, I gotta tell you, I'm a tech guy, and I kind of love this jet toner thing here. That's pretty cool for me.
Stanford, yeah.
Rocky Lombardi, can't go wrong with that. You know, John Lombardi's a good friend.
He started today for Michigan State at Nebraska.
Yep.
Puka's really good, but you gotta go. It's really tough to go against a Rambo when you see one of those out there too. Peyton Bender swings it out to Herbert. Stopped by Parnell Motley. Puka, Charleston Rambo. That's a, you know, he's out there tonight. He's caught a couple of passes.
He's got the little kid and play hairdo going on, doesn't he?
I got caught once with a cooler hot pop and a DiCaprio Boogle myself.
Did you?
Yeah.
How about that?
3rd and 3. I love the way this kid Bender has handled himself tonight. He's had a lot of poise back there. That pass incomplete for Stephon Robinson. You know, he's not flashy. He's allowed the run game to really be the key and the star of the game, but he's been around. I mean, he's thrown very few bad passes. Maybe some miscommunications on routes being run by his receivers, but He's been on target most of the night.
But when you're playing a team, even though Oklahoma doesn't have a juggernaut defense, they still are Oklahoma. It's about mitigating risk. And so the game plan that they put together for this game and for all games this year has been really outstanding and matched his skill set.
On 4th down, it's Steven Sims for a first down and then some. Out to the 45-yard line.
And they're not quitting. They're running their offense and moving with effectiveness and intentionality.
By the way, Spencer, there will be news more than likely tomorrow in Lawrence. And it's ironic to me that if the reports are true, and it happens to be the hat, it happens to be Les Miles. One of the things to take into consideration is when he won his national championship in 2007, Missouri and Kansas figured into the mix. Dave Wannstedt and Pitt figured into the mix, beating West Virginia. And Les Moore went on, after losing a second game in his last regular season game against Arkansas, to win the national championship. They actually moved from number 7 the day of the SEC title game against Tennessee to number 2, and then beat Ohio State for the national championship.
What Les has to do is get an out-pitch offensive mind, and I think Clint Bowen is the guy that's on his staff right now, is the defensive coordinator. That if I were him, I'd keep him for recruiting purposes, and he's a darn good coach at that.
Won't hurt to have this Louisiana kid in his backfield, Puka Williams. And I know there are a lot of naysayers out there because of the way it ended, but make no doubt, make no doubt about it. The ability to assemble a staff is why you hire a guy like Les Miles. No question about it. He's got the gravitas. He has the rings. He has gravitas as a coach, and certainly the history of the game. He loves it. The guy will even eat some grass occasionally. He'll get you some headlines and some attention. And, he recruited pretty well at Oklahoma State in the 3 years that he went up against Bob Stoops, too.
Yeah, only coach had a winning record against Bob at Oklahoma State.
Herbert, touchdown. Well, Puka's 252 is the 6th most in school history for one game.
That's not bad.
And Khalil Herbert just put a little icing on that statistical cake. Tony Sands got 396 against Missouri in 91. Gale Sayers got 283 against Okie State in 1962.
That was 4th most,
That's
right?
4th most.
Yeah. The Kansas Comet.
Oh, boy. You got to go back to 1962.
How about that?
A win against Oklahoma State. Gale Sayers, 283. Wow, that's 4th most.
Big, man.
Well, they're going to go for 2 again with 2:31 left. I wonder what the next hip pocket two-point play is. The last one was fun.
Second time out of the half.
Khalil Herbert on that last one was impressive.
Nice to see Broyles smiling. Looking a little bit better.
Well, he's talking. And
that's the main thing.
A good indicator.
And the lower extremities, which obviously to keep moving forward, you want to make sure that you're able to keep that body in motion, and they're making sure of that along the sidelines. David Betty's quote at the beginning, Holly Saunders had it for us. He said, you know, a couple of things that stick out to me is whoever it is, they're going to be damned lucky. It's a great place, not good, great. Great fans that deserve better, and a ton of great kids. And let me tell you, Jeff Long is having to do some things as an athletic director that a lot of Power 5 ADs wouldn't have to do, and that is get more donors, add to their facilities, make the stadium a bigger and better place. Some of the other facilities, by the way, are really, really good. Well, but the stadium needs work, and it's getting work.
It does, but the facility that is going up right behind Beatty's office is because of his efforts.
Absolutely.
He's done a tremendous job. He won't get a chance to see it come to fruition, but whoever inherits it's going to be a good thing.
How about that little shovel pass? Thing of beauty right there. That's 2 magnificent two-point conversions. That's Caperton Humphrey that takes it in on the little shovel. And guess what? It's still a 2-possession game. Just over 2 to play, though. 55-40 our score, Oklahoma. By the way, Spencer, 40 points is 2nd most for them this season. They beat Rutgers 55-14. Now that's think about that. That's an amazing number. And I dare say a lot of people thought Oklahoma might score over 50. But I don't know that those same people would have said Kansas will get to 40. But they did.
That crowd would be small.
We go on sides here. Hands team is up, and it looks like Oklahoma is on top of it.
Lee Morris down there.
That's Lee Morris.
Yep.
Had a big catch early in the game. That should help them put this one away. Kansas can only stop the clock a couple of times.
Hands team, you want your most athletic guys down there, the ones with the sure hands, those receivers. Lee Morris almost squeezed out of there.
Austin Kendall is going to get a little playing
Please
time.
put the game clock at 2:30.
And we'll close the books on Kyler Murray. And it was, as always, Spencer, very impressive. And it wasn't easy always for him.
It wasn't. The option game was in vogue early and worked on it. He got enough protection to allow him to do what he does best, and that's scramble. And there's no substitution for speed.
Jeremiah Hall, redshirt freshman out of Charlotte, North Carolina, gets a carry. He is incredible.
Timeout.
And I know
Kansas.
I didn't see him at his best, Spencer.
Second timeout of the half.
But having seen him live with my own
30
eyes,
seconds in lane.
He's special.
He's the best. He's the best player in college football, in my opinion.
Well, I didn't have to sell that to you, did I?
No, you didn't. And I had a feeling coming in. And listen, this is just pure speed right here. How the safety, Tornado, can't make that play is all about not understanding how fast Kyler Murray really is.
No question about it. Listen, Tua is an outstanding player. This guy is an eraser, in my opinion. He can take angles away from you. He can force your hand on coverage. He can steal what looks like sure coverage. Now, if the game plan is such where you're throwing into double coverage, which they did like 3 or 4 times tonight, that's a game plan issue.
And by the way, for those that want to go the Benedict Arnold route on the fact that we're saying what we are, carrying the Big 12 versus the SEC, that I'm sorry, we say what we see.
Yeah, I mean, I could care less.
That's as simple
about
as it
that.
is. That's as simple as I can put it. 2nd and 4. Not much for Hall that time. By the way, you know, Kendall, youngster from North Carolina.
Timeout. Kansas. Third and final time.
He was a backup too.
30 seconds in lane.
A young man they thought a lot of, but when the Kyler Murray opportunity came up, Spencer, you had to jump on it. And to think about being from Allen, Texas, and also thinking about his dad, who's now a high school coach. And 32 years ago, I was on the sidelines covering him in a game at LSU when he played for Jackie Sherrill. It's just, I mean, it's scary.
That just means you're seasoned.
Yeah,
that's all, Tim.
it's a lot of. That's a lot of hair color ago.
A long time ago, man. Oh, Jackie.
That was a pretty good Texas A&M team. They were outstanding in those days. Of course, David was on the Texas A&M staff with Sumlin before moving back over to Kansas. Had been with the Jayhawks previously as an assistant coach.
In fact, if you talked to David, to our earlier point about how good Kyler Murray is, he actually recruited him
to A&M.
To A&M.
Sure
so
did.
he's familiar with this kid. He flat out told us the other day that they're better than they were a year ago.
Well, that's a first down, and the clock will go tick. Now they can get into victory formation. Tell you what, I love talking with Lincoln Riley, Spencer. There's a lot of rumors circulating about him at the pro level and what's going on with the guys with the star on their helmet over in Dallas.
Probably because so many pros were here trying to figure out, you know, how to run some of his schemes. He had like 6 or 7 pro teams here this offseason.
But it is amazing the recall that this guy has.
Incredible.
And how he utilizes that. And you asked the question about feel versus formula. You did that when he was a coordinator for Bob Stoops. I think we got a handle on feel and formula now with him as a head coach. Tell you, this kid's running pretty tough, isn't he?
Smart job of staying in bounds to let that clock tick.
And there's his brother, Garrett, who coaches tight ends and fullbacks. They sure do. You can tell they're brothers. He did. We asked about Garrett, and he said, "Yeah, we don't talk this week. We talk a lot of other weeks."
How about that?
And he said, "You know, the family also understands it's probably a good idea to just leave us both alone the week of this game."
Although he did say before the game he'd chat a little bit.
Yeah. Hello, how you doing? Love you, bro.
After the play,
that's great.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, 29 of the defense. That's his first of the game. 15-yard penalty.
Joe Deneen gets an unsportsmanlike. Tell you though, Spencer, I want to say this about the KU kids, especially guys like Deneen and Daniel Wise, because they've put their heart and souls into these programs for such a long time. with very little to show for it in terms of accolades. But one day, when Kansas gets its traction back, a lot of people will point back to this young man for helping put together a foundation for the days that lie ahead. Great young man. He was up for the he's on the Werfel Trophy list. I know because I'm a board member of the Werfel Watch. Magnificent impact player and leader for this team. His mom and granddad and great-grandfather, his brother, all Jayhawks. Just hoping now that we'll have some détente as the clock winds down between these two teams.
Back to your point about Coach Beatty, he said he never got into this game for personal gratification. I believe him. He says his criteria for determining if he's successful is how much of an individual leader these guys, a father, a husband, they become. And he says you won't be able to make that determination until years later. So he's about sowing and hopefully reaping something a long way down the road. Outstanding job by this coach.
Well, that'll do it. Lincoln Riley's team moves to 10-1. They're now poised to take on West Virginia to make sure that they are in a position to claim first place and definitely in the Big 12 championship as the two coaches embrace.
That's going to be a track meet, by the way.
Yes, it is. And you love using the term intentionality. Dana Holgerson's team will have that when they play in Morgantown next week, because they had control of that game at Oklahoma State most of the way today. Let it slip away.
Yep, they did.
Now Holly Saunders is downstairs with Coach Riley. Holly?
Yeah, thank you, Tim. Coach, quickly here, how special has Kyler Murray been to Coach? We saw him tonight beat Kansas with his hands and his feet.
Yeah, he was explosive for us. It was fun to see him get loose there on the big run. You know, we've kind of been waiting on that one. He had one against Texas a few weeks ago, but he's been close. So he was really good for us tonight.
And you were able to send your seniors out with a win tonight. What has this class meant to you?
It means a lot. You know, they got a chance to be the only class in the history of this league to have 4 championship rings. And we don't have many of them. We're a young team, but they've had a huge impact on our program.
Pretty special. Thank you very much, Coach. Enjoy it.
Thank you, Holly.
Tim?
All right, Holly, thank you. Lincoln Riley, hard to believe a guy that young can have such a sense of perspective about where his team is. Second youngest Division I FBS coach at only 35 years of age in his second year at Oklahoma. And there's David talking with Kyler. You mentioned that he recruited him to Texas A&M. That's just a wonderful shot right there.
It really is. It's all about relationships in this game. And when you have a coach that has poured as much into young men as Coach Beatty has, those are moments right there that you cherish for a lifetime.
Kyler Murray is standing by now with Holly. Go ahead, Holly.
Yeah, thank you, Tim. Kyler, just talked to your coach about how you beat Kansas with your feet and your hands tonight, how explosive you can be. How much fun is it to play in this offense?
It's a lot of fun. You know, we got. Like I said, I've said multiple times, I feel like we got the best O-line in the country. We got great running back room, and we got playmakers on the outside that make my job a lot easier. So I thought it was a good night. A little disappointed and missed a couple passes tonight, but I thought we did enough to get the job done.
And you head to West Virginia next weekend. Where do you want to see your team clean everything up before you head to Morgantown?
Yeah, we just got to play better complementary football on all three phases of the ball: special teams, offense, and defense. We'll have a good week of practice. Play on Friday, so a shorter week, and we'll go up there ready to go. So it'll be fun.
Very cool. Thanks, Kyler. Appreciate it. Tim?
He's a regular cool hand Luke. And by the way, if you ever have an opportunity to go back and look on YouTube or maybe just pictures of his dad when he played at Texas A&M, they're lookalikes. It's just amazing. That's 22 wins in the first 2 seasons. That's most in school history, beyond the great Barry Switzer, your old coach. Wow, the history here that continues to be made. Sooner Schooner will be very happy and rolling along, as will we when we come back to wrap it up.